What is up? Welcome to the Shadowverse Team-tacular. This is the Team-tacular. This is like the mid-season show. This is like the little vacation that we got going on.
This is it. Yeah, absolutely. And I hope you guys have been enjoying the vacation since you know, competitive Shadowverse has been taking a little break lately. But we're gonna be back here soon.
Yeah. We got a nice little change up on the desk. I mean, we took the desk away. Got a nice little couch. Wearing my vacation shirts.
Yeah. It's nice, right? It's nice. Little,
oh yeah.
Yeah. Get into it.
Okay, so since the mini expansion has come out, what are some of the decks that you've been playing? What are some of the new cards that you're really liking? Tell us about that.
Yeah. So mostly Portal. Okay.
Okay.
I really wanted to dive into the fact that in competitive play, we've mostly seen a lot of tech options in Portalcraft being played time and time again, right? Not really a lot of things going on outside of just like maybe a couple Icarus here, a couple Pure-Hearted Singers there, maybe a Puppet Room here.
Yeah.
But now with the mini expansion, we have Kukuro. Kukuro is pretty insane. Basically,
crazy.
no need for tech cards anymore. You just go straight into all good cards in Portalcraft. And it's just a big 1-2 punch with Silva. It's really nice against Force. You finally have an answer to these big fairy boards that are being set up, so you can fight against Wood of Brambles. And outside of that, of course, I've been playing Gremory. Gremory is about the most spectacular card out of the mini expansion.
Gremory is absolutely insane. I mean, like, what it allows you to do, I've taken out Ephemera out of the Arcus deck and just put in the Gremory, essentially. Yeah. And there's so many different ways you can build that deck. You can put in Ceres if you want to. You can put in Corpse Lord of Woe. I mean, like, there's different ways to do it. But what Gremory allows you to do is have perfect 20 damage right on turn 10. With Gremory and Fairy with 2 ghosts, it's
Plus,
insane.
it's just really nice, good setup anyway. Like, if you're playing Corpse Lord of Woes, you get free Evos on it.
Oh, yeah.
You can set up a couple of your small followers, like Lady Greys, and just push, you know, a lot of drain damage, unsuspecting from your opponent. It just lets you set up your turns a lot more nicely than you would have been otherwise.
Right.
Able to, yeah.
And so, I mean, and of course, like, I've been playing Warbreaker Dragoon a lot, trying to figure out exactly how that card fits best into Dragoncraft. And it's interesting because I haven't quite figured it out yet, because I tried with Lindworm initially. I was like, okay, yeah, Warbreaker Dragoon is going to reduce the cost of Lindworm. It's going to buff up its attack.
The choose effect.
The choose effect, yeah. So if you don't know how that works, if you Warbreaker Dragoon and it affects the Lindworm in your hand, that affects that card. But when you want to play either the Inquisitus Lindworm or the Virtuous Lindworm, that cost and damage is not changed as well. It's still 10 cost and 10 damage for the Inquisitus Lindworm. So I had my opponent at 11. It was buffed up by Warbreaker Dragoon. And then I was like, oh, cool, I win. And then they were like left with 1 defense.
Yeah, wait a minute. That doesn't do 11 damage. This isn't so fun. But yeah, the mini expansion honestly has just, it's given new breath into the game, right? The metagame's a little bit different now. Some of the decks like Portalcraft have gotten a little bit stronger. Havencraft honestly has, it's not really gotten worse. It's just a lot of the other decks have gotten a lot more familiar, a lot more powerful effects. And it's basically balanced it again, to whereas Havencraft was probably the best class, along with Puppet before the mini expansion. Now it's kind of just on the same lines as everything else. Like Aggro Forest, even though a lot of things haven't changed for Forestcraft, just feels better in the format now. I mean, Puppet Portal is going to be reigning supreme for a while.
Yeah, we were seeing a lot of Holy Lion Temple and Tinko Shrine as well, but I mean, we see just plain old Tempo Haven, Summit Temple Haven. Yeah. Win games.
It's good.
I remember last week we saw like a winning blow with Garuda.
Yeah.
And now Ziki Baba is a new card, just kind of like adding a little spice into that mix. Yeah.
Ziki Baba? Yeah, I like that. I like that card too. Yeah, it's an awesome card. But yeah, honestly speaking, since the mini expansion, it just feels like the format is whole again. It feels like you want to be, you know, playing your tempo game. You can't really give your opponent that much time to set up. You can't really be messing around on your turns. You need to be playing tempo-oriented gameplay, which honestly speaking speaks to the competitive player in me, you know, more than most styles where you're either waiting for an end game or people are just pushing too heavy in the early game. Now it's just, you got to keep pace with your opponent. You always got to be making the best plays. You got to be thinking about the next couple of turns ahead on how to make sure that you maintain that pace so you can actually keep up.
Absolutely. Yeah, so the meta is like, it's really solidifying. It's in a really great place right now. And of course, next week, Montreal is going to happen. DreamHack Montreal is going to happen. Make sure you tune in for that. It's going to be crazy. You're going to be there. You're going to be casting.
It's going to be super fun. Yeah, Montreal. So we talked about Singapore the last time we saw you guys, and Singapore was an amazing event. We got to see tons of people. There were 300 people signed up. The building was entirely packed. Montreal, I don't expect it to be any different. We're going to be hanging out with all the players, going to be having dinners out there, enjoying the sights. But of course, all of our competitive players are going to be locked down, going straight for the gold, trying to get that last big spot outside of the last chance qualifier and potentially the regional finals for the Pan American side of things. So players have to buckle down.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is one of their biggest opportunities. So they're gonna put their serious faces
Yeah, especially considering so much has changed with the mini expansion.
Yes.
New cards have been added, and yeah, like you said, the Contenders Cup. We're gonna find out who's gonna be qualified for the Contenders Cup at DreamHack Montreal, and also the regional finals next week as well.
The week after.
The week after. Yeah, week after next. Yeah.
So it's going to be super fun. But before that, we're going to have some fun today. So today is all about just kind of showing you guys what's going on with the new mini expansion. We've got 2 different teams going on. We've got Team Crumsian with Potwasher, Wonder Melodies, Akamara Red, and Gengar. We've got Team Hamari with Failbait, Lewis the Panda, Saria Heart, and Kir Mango. A lot of community guys, a lot of good competitive players. I think we're going to have a lot of fun today.
Yep, let's check out the format for the day to figure out exactly like who these teams are, what they're playing for, what they're playing against. So each player has been assigned a class. Each of the 8 unique classes are represented here. They have to build a deck using the 3 legendary cards from the new mini expansion, and they battle head-to-head, like you see here, in a best-of-1 format, earning their team captain vials that they will be used in the final round, in the 5th game of the day, where we'll have Crumsian and Hamari battle it out. So 1 victory for your team earns your team 5,000 vials to be used. Right here. Yeah, so this is an example. This is not, the day hasn't happened already. This is just an example.
Right, we didn't jump ahead.
So 3 wins earns you a bonus 15,000 vials, and 1 win only earns you 5,000 vials, as you see here. So there is... So 3 wins, you'll get 15,000 vials on top of your baseline, which is 15,000 vials to begin with, 30,000 vials.
That's right. And then, the team captains, like you said, start with 15,000. You get 5,000 more for every win, and then they're going to battle it out with their unique classes at the end, which we will have already seen, but it will be their versions of it gated by whatever amount of vials they have.
I believe Crumsian has chosen Bloodcraft with the Thunder Behemoth, and Hamari has chosen Runecraft with Vesper Witch Hunter.
Yeah, Vesper. I know you guys have been playing on ladder lately, and if you guys don't know how powerful Vesper is, hopefully we get to see a lot of it today, because Vesper, let me tell you, that card added a whole new dimension to the deck that I felt like was lacking with Earthright Runecraft decks. And it's so universal. You don't even have to play it in just an Earthright deck.
It's so universal. Yeah, it works in Spell Boost Runecraft. It works in Mysteria, which is now incredibly powerful.
It's good.
I remember like right after the mini expansion, I'm playing some games, trying to figure out Grimoire, and I just get like absolutely destroyed by Mysteria Runecraft like time and time again.
Yeah, it's absolutely powerful. The first time I saw it, I was like, is this guy trolling me? When I was playing on the ladder, but then I lost, and I was like,
and then
wait
you
a minute.
Take like 12 damage in 1 turn on turn 8.
These cards are good. Yeah, these cards are all good.
Like the Mysterian Blackworm, it puts a Mysterian Missile in your hand, and then
it just excels that damage on top of the Mysteria, and then you just keep. You're like, wait a minute, stop, hold on, I can't take any more
Don't
damage.
play Cagliostro. No, don't do that.
Yeah, stop, please, stop destroying my board, stop dealing me so much.
Let me take a breath. It goes very fast.
Yeah, it does. It does. I've been having a lot of fun. I expect a lot of these players will be talking to us about their experiences with the mini expansion, how much fun they've been having. I mean, that's the whole tone of the mini expansions. We saw it last season. We're going to see it this season. Especially, I love where it's interjected right before the regional finals, right before we have this big Montreal tournament. It switches everything around. People have to tool around new decks and new ideas, new lineups.
Yeah, so this is like our opportunity to like relax, take a breath.
Yeah, today we're just relaxing. We're gonna have some fun.
We're gonna get to see the format. We're gonna get to see exactly like what's strong right now and exactly what we can do,
and maybe even find out ideas if maybe some of the legendaries we haven't been using are playable or any good.
So we are going to go to a quick 2-minute break. We're going to be right back with the Team Tacular. Don't go anywhere. And we're back. More Team Tacular action. We're going to be going into the games here shortly, and we have an interview with Potwasher coming up momentarily.
That's
so we'll see what his thoughts are.
He'll
about
be our first competitor playing Bloodcraft, so we finally get to see some new Thunder Behemoth action. Maybe.
I'm excited to see what he's thinking. Let's ask him. Potwasher, how's it going, man? What's up? How are you liking the new mini expansion?
Yeah, it's really fun. Blood is definitely an underexplored class right now, and the text of Thunder Behemoth itself is not very weak at all. There's a lot of strong things you can do with the card. Same thing with the other gold card as well, the Evil Eye Demon. So those are both really strong cards. Definitely underexplored class, so I'm looking to show off the strength of what it could do today.
Evil Eye Demon, yeah, I've already used that card a lot in my Jormungand deck because I love that deck, and it's so incredibly powerful. On turn 4, on turn 5, it's so easy to just have a massive, massive board wipe available to you.
Absolutely. So Thunder Behemoth specifically, Potwasher, do you think that fits more into an aggressive style deck? Do you think you can play a little bit more control with it? Do you think it's kind of in a box, or do you think it just needs a lot more exploration?
Yeah, it was a little bit difficult to fit into something like Jormungand deck, just because you want all your play points when you're going into the turn 6, the turn 7, so that you can set up Jormungand Evo or maybe something like Zodiac Demon. Those are pretty common things to do with Jormungand, but it is difficult to set that up, so I decided to go for a little bit more aggressive deck, but we'll see.
Perfect. Well, talk to us a little bit about your deck. What did you decide to prepare for today?
Yeah, a really aggressive deck, and it's going to revolve around Thunder Behemoth being pretty much an extra copy of Razor Claw, except it also has a large body on it, so it doesn't lose any tempo, but you're still pushing a lot of damage, and in the mid-game that can be really strong. I also have Old Blood King, and there's also a lot of damage from hand, so just setting up multi-turn lethals and making the opponent have specific cards they have to play on the turn because you're pushing out such a big follower on the board.
Yeah, aggressive Bat Bloodcraft is really strong.
It's great.
It's incredibly strong. And that's an interesting point you said. It's just like having another Razor Claw with a big body in your deck. And a lot of players with Bat Bloodcraft were using Karabos in the deck as kind of like the larger end of the curve, which of course it doesn't give you play points back after you establish Karabos and all that stuff. So Thunder Behemoth, it seems like a really nice fit. You just trade out the Karabos and you put in Thunder Behemoth.
More damage. More damage is good. So Potwasher, before we get you off here and before we get you set up for your game, any final thoughts you want to give to the players out there about Montreal, about your journey out there, what you're going to be doing, and set up for the week?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to go to the World Circuit Singapore earlier, about a few weeks ago, so that was really, really fun, and I got to meet a lot of really strong players from Panda Global. I got to meet Kremgen again, and it was a lot of fun. I'm really excited to meet a lot of players that I've been practicing with, that I've competed with in previous tournaments in Shadowverse Open or other tournaments. So there's going to be a lot more people that I have known over the past years, and yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Lots of fun. Good,
all right,
good.
well, thank you so much, Potwasher. Thank you for joining us. Good luck and have fun with your game. We'll wish you the best, man.
That's right. That's right. So that was Potwasher. He's bringing aggressive Bat Blood with the new Thunder Behemoth as extra copies of Razor Claw attached to a big body, and that sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
That sounds like a really good deal.
I've played some Bat Blood. Okay, I espouse the virtues of Bat Blood. I think it's a super cool deck. I think it can be super explosive, and now you don't just have to go all in on the combo strategy. Before it was like you just get a couple points of chip damage in here or there. You set up an Old Blood King, and then you just kind of run over the field if you have the right cards in your hand. Now you get this extra stomp gap in the mid game where you're just like, what about this 6/6 that just dealt 3 damage to you? What are you gonna do about this?
And we're gonna see how the negative effect of the card plays out, right? When you don't recover 3 play points the next turn. But anyway, we have Failbait on the line. Failbait, how is it going, man? How you doing? How are you liking the new mini expansion?
Yeah, g'day, how's it going? I'm enjoying it a lot. Some new cards, like you were saying, mixing things up a little bit, a lot of really interesting things coming out. And my favorite so far is definitely Runecraft.
Perfect. Well, you get a chance to play Runecraft today. Talk to us a little bit about why you like Runecraft right now. Is it a little bit different than it was before the mini expansion? Like, how do you feel about it now?
Yeah, I think what I enjoy so much about Runecraft is that you can play so many different decks with it. I mean, you have the Abyss Summoner deck, you have Giant Chimera, you have Mysteria, so you can And you can even sneak around with some like neutral decks still. I mean, it's really fun. You can play around with so many different aspects of it. Like you were saying, Vespa, the new legendary, fits into all of them.
Yeah. Nice, very nice. So tell us about the list that you brought today. You were required to use 3 Vesper Witch Hunters. So how do you feel that card works best in an archetype with those constraints?
Yeah, so I think Vespa, like I was saying, and like you've been saying, fits into so many of the different decks. So she's called Vespa Witch Hunter, and I figured with that name I would call my deck Pot Hunter because I'm playing Pot Washer. But that means something else, doesn't it? So I've mixed it a little bit with like some dirt cards, you know, Levi's in there, as well as the Mysterian cards, which, as you were saying, were very strong. I considered putting in Bertrand because he's old as dirt, but I figured I want a little bit more card draw. Because Miss Miranda is so strong, so you really want her, and you want the Magic Founder Legendary as well.
Perfect, perfect. Well, Failbait, I don't know if you have any plans of going to Montreal, but as far as content or streaming or anything like that, are you doing anything actively? How can people check you out?
Yeah, so you can find me through my, beginner guides, budget decks, all that sort of stuff at the hashtag Shadowverse 101. Or you can find me, your mate Failbait, coming at you on Twitch almost every day at FailbaitSV. Very
cool, very cool. So, do you have any words for Potwasher? Any competitive spirit you wanna let them know?
I'm gonna win.
There it is.
There it is. All right,
Failbait. That's why you're my favorite.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much. We're gonna let you get into the game. GLHF, have fun.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we get to see new Vesper. Which, again, like he said, like we've been saying, it's good in pretty much everything. He's putting it into a Mysteria deck today, from what we know, against aggressive Bat Blood. So we're going to see if Mysteria can stand the test of being beaten into by tiny bats.
So what's interesting is that, like, right off the bat, I think a lot of players immediately knew how good Mysteria was already going to be with Vesper. And so everybody was playing it. But Thunder Behemoth, not very explored, not as much as Mysteria. That's exactly what Potwasher said.
That's the beauty, and to go alongside of that, I feel like Blood's been underexplored this entire expansion. I know a lot of the Blood lovers out there have been trying. They're like, this doesn't work, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
But now there's this injection of a couple new cool cards that kind of work with a lot of different strategies. You can play Thunder Behemoth in mid-range, you can play it in aggro. You might be able to set it up in Jormungand, but that might be a little bit harder. And of course, you've got the new gold card. I mean, there's a lot of different avenues to be explored, and I hope to see some of that today, as we will. And I really hope to see it next week in Montreal as the competitive players gear up and try to just do something that the rest of the field isn't going to be ready for.
Yeah, so like day 1 in Montreal, I think players are going to bring something that's a little more tried and true, a little more tested. But in day 2, when you just need to spike one win with one deck, and that could be the difference between like 16th place or 8th place.
And
like,
if your opponent has no idea what you're doing, I mean, it's just
that's the time and place to bring some style in decks.
Yeah, we talked to Crumsian after he got back from Singapore, and he was just like, day 1, you have to go with that, meta traditional. You don't want to play too many tech cards because you have to play a bunch of different opponents and yada yada. Day 2, that's where you bring out all the stops. That's where you bring out your tech cards, your tech decks, and everything like that. But enough of that. Let's get into our first game of the Team Tacular. For Team Crumsy, we've got TS Potwasher. We've ended on the Failbait for Team Hamari.
That's right, that's right. Yeah, and the winner will earn their team captain 5,000 vials for use in their deck. And the curve's already looking decently for Potwashers.
Like
1-drop, a new 2-drop, that's fine.
I like this, yeah. Failbait has kept the Mysteria, I mean, that's what you generally want to do in a Mysteria deck. You want to get some card draw in there, you want to get Mysteria in your opening hand, and Potwasher's got, Old Blood King in his hand.
Failbait smiles, is like, oh man, my aggro opponent has a 1-drop. This is where it begins. This is my nightmare.
First, yeah. He's got the Goblin. That's the threat, right? You're playing against a Bloodcraft deck, you're like, all right, are they playing this slower deck? Are they playing this mid-range deck, and they play Goblin on turn 1? You're like, oh crap, I'm in for it. Yeah.
I know, yep. And yeah, Raven, Eventide essentially is like 2 costs, and you get 2 Forest Bats, except one of them isn't a Forest Bat, right? But it does fanfare summon a Forest Bat. It works really well when you're in Vengeance and you're able to activate its Enhance it, or its Choose effect, I should say.
Absolutely. If not, it's just another one of what Blood has a ton of access to, and that's just a couple 1-drops for 2 play points. It's really nice. It works well with Old Blood King. I mean, pretty much everything in this deck looks like it works well with Old Blood King, and hopefully we get to see some Thunder Behemoth close the doors in this game.
Hopefully we do. Now I will say that Mysterian Rune, not a lot of removal effects that can deal with an ambush follower aside from Master Mage Levi that just does 3 damage across the board, but even that's not enough damage to take off the Old Blood King.
Forget an ambush follower. How are you going to deal with a 6/6 that might pre-evo into an 8/8? Like, what are you going to do about that guy?
What are you going to do?
I mean, you have to use your entire Master Mage Levi turn plus an evolution orb just to stop that one card. That doesn't deal like you said with the old Blood
Right,
King.
especially considering the curve that both players have in their hand right now. Potwasher's going first, so he's going to get the Thunder Behemoth down right on turn 5, and then Failbait's going to want to, play the Mysteria. Except you can't even evolve to trade into the Thunder Behemoth.
Yeah, exactly.
If Potwasher pre-evolves it.
Right. Which, I mean, when you're playing an aggro deck, you don't really think about pre-evoing. You want to evo for damage more often than not to get the game over quickly. The one thing that Failbait does have going for him, though, is if he can manage to deal with the early game and set Potwasher back on just trying to use the old Blood King plus combo, then he can overtake in damage. Eventually, there will be these huge spikes that happen. Problem is, going second, post-turn 5, post-turn 6, you've already taken a bunch of damage. Old Blood King is already in the hand for Potwasher, as is Thunder Behemoth. He's got a pretty nice draw, but as you can see, he's kind of running out of steam already. Turn 4 is about to happen. There's not a huge play for turn 4. This is where Failbait can start turning the corner.
This, I think it is. A turn might have been corner. Okay, that's a great.
All right,
okay.
Come on, Potwasher. Come on, man. Let's go.
All right.
Come on.
Enhance 4 summons itself a 2/2 and 2 force bats as well. That's Bewitching Succubus. It's about as good as it gets right on turn 4 for your aggro deck. Not bad, not bad.
Where is Staff of Whirlwinds? Oh yeah, it doesn't matter because it's only turn 4. Look at this board, it's too big.
That's too big, man.
Get out of here.
Where is the Nova Flare? I want to see the Nova Flare.
I don't think we've got
we're not going to see Nova Flare in this deck.
There's no Nova Flare here.
Cagliostro, not bad. Okay, that helps.
That does help. That does help. I think Failbait is going to have to draw something like a Staff of Whirlwinds very quickly here if he wants to have a chance in this game. Master Mage Levi especially is still a couple turns away. If he uses the Cagliostro this turn, he won't have a sigil down for the Master Mage Levi. He's getting into some rough territory.
That's right. He does. He has Carl available to him as well, Mysterian Circle, so he has other ward. It looks like he's not going to play the Cagliostro. He's gonna try to get ward. I think that's a good play. I like that.
I thought that Chain Lightning was a Staff of Whirlwinds real quick. I thought we were gonna be able to get there.
Not yet.
But I like this too. I mean, honestly speaking, Potwasher can set up the old Blood King this turn. He can also just set up the Thunder Behemoth to just break right through the ward so he doesn't have to lose any followers here.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that might even be the strongest play.
Or Buller as well coming in that enhanced 5s gives +1 to all followers on the field. That's 4 damage right to face.
That's true. I mean, or he could Evo and deal 6. I mean, we've got a lot of options this turn. Potwasher is not running out of steam. I thought he was going to.
No, but it looks like it is going to be Buller.
Look at Failbait. He knows it too. He can't do anything but smile. You know what I mean? When you're out
what are you going to do, man?
Yeah. This is the field right here. So it looks like he is going to play into something like a Staff of Whirlwinds. Let's see if Failbait can come into it to save himself a couple turns here. The draw.
Vesper? Yeah. Okay, but doesn't have an Earth Sigil even on the field for the Fanfare.
Yeah. So Cagliostro is going to have to come down here, clear off 2 of the followers. This is going to leave up to 6 damage already in play.
Thunder Behemoth is in the hand.
The wings, along with a Gift of Blood. I mean, there's a lot of damage just straight out of hand. Like Potwasher said, it is just another Razor Claw when you need it to be.
Yep.
Turns out.
So with 3 play points left, that's Ars Magna, clears off 1. You can evo the other 2, or the other 1, excuse me. Well, he's gonna go for some healing here. Okay, so he's at 10. And
this
then let's see,
more
6
damage in play.
Oh, that leaves more. Oh, he didn't evolve. So no, I think
he already evolved the Cagliostro.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
So. In any case, Failbait probably just playing. I hope he doesn't have the lethal out of hand. If he does, then I'm probably going to lose anyway, so I'm going to play into a possible way where I can clear the board with Master Mage Levi. I think Failbait's plan was perfectly fine. But as we see it, Thunder Behemoth is going to come down and end the game in the particular fashion as we expected today. We like it.
Not bad at all. Yeah,
Look at the cheesy smile Potwasher
He was so happy,
I mean, honestly, when you draw like that in an aggro deck, it just feels right. You know
it feels really good. Yeah, you came into the Bewitching Succubus, right into the Buller, and that's what the deck does, man. That's what you do. If you play that in ladder, that's got to be more than a 50% win rate. I mean, come on,
right? You're more than 50% that you draw the on curve for in 5-drop. Yeah, almost every time.
When your deck is built for that. I mean, that was great. That was great.
Yeah, I liked it. And we got the cap off the game with the new legendary that they were forced to play with. Couldn't have had it any better.
Couldn't have had it. We didn't really get to see Vesper play it, unfortunately. But I mean, Bloodcraft was just too fast for that card to even see play.
Yeah, honestly speaking, I almost want if it were my rules, we'd have a rematch of that game at the end, and I'd let Failbait go first, so we can see the different tempo.
Just to see the downside of an aggro deck against a slightly slower deck like Mysteria.
Right. Absolutely.
Anyway,
yeah.
we're moving right along. We have our next competitor. Our next match is coming up soon. Wonder Melodies is on the phone. How are you doing? What's up? How are you liking the new mini expansion?
Oh, maybe we need a second here.
No, that's all good.
See if she's got our.
Cool. So we're gonna go back to that in just a second. But Wonder Melody, she's playing Portalcraft.
Yes, she is. And
she's required to use the new legendary Malachio.
Malachio.
Yeah, I did some research. I was like, what the heck is that? So I just Googled it.
Yep.
Turns out it's an ancient Italian superstition. It translates to the evil eye.
The evil eye.
The evil eye, yeah.
Is that like an old children's like scary time?
It had to do with like if you had, maybe I'm misremembering this, but if you had like too much fortune, if you were too lucky, your neighbors might give you the evil eye. They might give you Malachio. It represents envy and malice and just kind of, and so people were afraid of that.
Well, that makes sense, right? Because it keeps getting bigger. It keeps getting bigger, and then it gets out of control.
Yeah,
right? That's
absolutely.
That's what it does.
It gets out of control, yeah.
I would get envious if my opponent had this huge follower that I couldn't do anything about smacking me in the face.
Had a 3-cost 2/2 that evolves into a 6/2. It's crazy. Anyway, let's go back into the interview. Wonder Melodies, how's it going? What's up? Can you hear us? Are we all good?
Yes, I could hear you guys.
There we go.
Hello. I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
It's a great day. It's a great day. We got our Hawaiian shirts on. We got our Singapore shirts on. It's doing just fine. So, Wonder, talk to us about the mini expansion. What decks have you been exploring? What decks are your favorite right now? Even what cards?
With the mini expansion, I have been exploring some of the cards. Definitely within Portal, Kokoro is an insanely good card. She is joining her adopted sister Silva and is doing absolutely amazing things for Puppet Portalcraft right now.
Oh yeah, definitely very, very strong Kokoro.
Yeah.
Just dropped right into Puppetcraft.
I love that card. Yeah.
So tell us about your deck that you brought today. You were required to use Malachio. Did you bring Artifact Portal? Did you bring Puppet Portal? Did you mix the two? Because I remember last time you straight up just mixed Puppetcraft and Artifact Portal.
Yeah.
So what did you bring today?
Today, admittedly, I did go and bring Puppet Portalcraft with 3 of the new legendary. Personally, I think the new legendary does synergize a little bit more with Artifact Portalcraft, but I just love puppets so much that I more so just built a puppet and then I put 3 of the new legendary, which is actually very underrated in my opinion, because the fact that a 3-drop could do 6 attack and then when it gets to 10 do even more damage is absolutely insane. And it's something that people really need to go and destroy before it's there for too long.
It's a really big follower, especially if you have that spare Evo turn to use it on it becomes a 6/2.
It's crazy. I was almost even thinking of kind of like a hodgepodge aggro artifact deck, or even like mix the artifact and the puppets together, like we saw earlier in the expansion. We saw some people trying to throw everything together just as fast and aggro as it could possibly be. Maybe it fits into that style a little bit better as well. So, Wonder Melodies, you're liking Puppet now. You might not be going to Montreal, but talk to everybody about how they can follow you, how they can see you, what you've been doing lately, all that kind of good stuff.
Okay, if you'd like, you go and follow me on Twitter at WonderMelodies_. Currently, I've been especially working on the administration and social media for the Shadow Nexus, so look forward to more Shadowverse events that we're going to be coming out with.
Perfect. Very cool. Very cool. So, GLHF, in your game, do you have any words for your opponent that you'd like to say now? Any challenge you want to issue?
Oh yeah, Lewis. My goblins may have not been able to beat you last time because I misplayed once, but this time, we going in. We're gonna win this time. We're gonna win this time.
All right. We'll leave you to it. We'll leave you to it. GLHF, have fun.
Okay.
You know, Exo, I just realized how similar we look right now.
It's pretty close.
It's uncanny.
It's almost like we planned this.
It's almost like
almost like we planned this. Yeah. That might or might not be my shirt. Anyway, so. But yeah, again, she did play against Lewis the Panda in the last Team Tacular, and she did go down. But I think she's right. I think some changes are necessary here. You know, I think Portal does have what it takes. I think Malachio, I think is gonna get it done today. I'm pretty.
All right.
Let's
see what Luis the Panda has to say about the mini expansion in his deck. Luis, how you doing, my man? What is up?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Great day. Yeah.
Great day. So tell us about the mini expansion. What have you liked most about the new mini expansion? Which card are you most excited about?
Well, I'm playing Dragon today, and the card that I'm most excited about is the Dragon Legendary. I've been playing Grand Dragon for like 2 years now, and I gotta say, before the mini expansion, people said that Shadow and Blood felt bad, but I thought Dragon felt pretty bad too. However, with the new Dragon cards, Poseidon and the Dragoon, Dragon feels super good now. Really, really liking it.
It's wonderful. I thought Dragoon, the Warbreaker Dragoon, it was just going to be out of the water, like, you know, knock it out of the park, like home run, like this is the best card
When
ever.
he can reduce the cost of Zoes.
Turns out Poseidon has added this new flavor to Ramp Dragon that's just like, wait a minute.
So difficult to get rid of.
What is this card? Like, what am I supposed to do about all this? In any case, Lewis, talk to us about your particular style of Dragon. You said you've been playing it for a long time now. What has this led you up to with these new cards? What have you built for us today?
Alright, so today we're playing, in my stream we call this Respectable Ramp Dragon. It's a pretty easy game plan. Early game you ramp, mid game you draw cards, late game you storm. Just play dragons, go phase. Works out pretty good.
Okay.
I like it.
All right.
Simple,
Yeah. Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I love that deck.
Wonderful stuff. So, Lewis, talk to us about what you're doing right now. You're still a big streamer. Talk to us about how people can follow you on Twitter, on your stream, and what you got going on there.
So you guys can watch me at twitch.tv/LewisThePanda. I will be doing another Panda Cup with the new expansion whenever it comes out. I will also be at TwitchCon this year, so hopefully I could get to meet some of the Shadowverse people there.
Pretty nice, pretty nice. Okay, so now, last thing, do you have any words for Wonder Melodies? I mean, she kind of called you out there.
She did kind of say she was going to beat you up this time.
Well, I mean, I did beat her last time. Melissa's great. We've casted together. She's super cool, so I hope we have a good game.
Awesome.
All right,
very
super nice.
Very
Respectable
nice.
Dragoncraft, respectable Lewis the Panda. Good stuff. Hope to see you do well. I think this is going to be interesting. We've got essentially kind of the same type of matchup. We have a more aggressive lineup versus a more defensive lineup. And honestly speaking, I think Dragon does have some really nice new options. Before, I think, just like Lewis said, Dragon felt kind of a little off. Like, it didn't have, like, yes, it had those big storm followers, but you had to get a bunch of them in order to win. You didn't really have that mid-game stopgap that just said, wait, hold on, let me give me some time so I can get my storm followers.
Give me a minute, man.
Yeah, now Poseidon's like, take five. Take five. Just take a break, Dragon.
And it even has the accelerate effect, too, like, just, like, options to play. If you don't have a 2-drop, now you got a 2-drop. It works with PDK as well. I mean, it's pretty good synergy.
The card's pretty good. It works well with Jabberwock. It works well with just regular Ramp Dragon. The card, I thought that Warbreaker was going to be like the new hot thing, but I think Poseidon is the new hot thing.
All right, we'll see. Yeah, this next match is looking like a serious, like, Shadowverse Open match. Like, just Dragon and Portalcraft.
This is Dragon and Portal. Let's go. All right, Wonder Melodies is pumped up. She's ready to go. Let's get into this match. Again, guys, 5,000 points to the team leader for whoever wins.
Activate.
That's right. There's 5,000 vials already on the side of Team Crumsian. So we're gonna see who gets the next.
Giving Crumsian more points, man. I don't know if I like this deal.
I don't know.
Giving him more vials to work with. You know, it's pretty rough. But you know, Hamari right now on the back foot needs his team to spike a win here, catch him back up.
If any deck can do it, Portalcraft can do it, man.
That's true.
And the curve here is looking, I think Wonder Melodies is just gonna keep that whole hand. Lococo, substitution, Nicholas.
Seems good to me.
You're going first. That seems really, really good. Oh, coming into Spinaria going first as well. I love it. I love it.
So what's funny about Portalcraft is, you know, I always thought Nicholas was one of the best cards in the deck. It still is. Might even be the best card in the deck. I used to mulligan it sometimes. Now I don't. I just don't mulligan that card. I've learned.
You've gained a third eye, so to speak.
I have gained a third eye. Nicholas is one of those cards. I don't really care what the rest of the context of my hand looks like. Puppet will kind of give you the 2-drop every once in a while. It'll give you the curve to play around it. But on turn 4, you want to play Nicholas. You just want to do it. On turn 5,
get that down.
You want to play the second Nicholas. You don't really want to stop playing that card. That card's crazy good. But I really like the style here. So Wonder Melody's basically just playing the more aggressive style of puppets, adding Malachio in there just so it can, you know, I love the fact that if you can save an Evo point for it and it randomly just sticks around, it can spike for a ton.
It's like Abomination Awakened almost in some senses.
Yeah, absolutely. Giving Portalcraft an Abomination Awakened, that's interesting. I haven't really tested a lot of Malachio yet. I've played a lot of Kukuro, like what Wonder Melodies was talking about. Again, I think it's just really good unilaterally against the field.
So
but,
an interesting thing just happened. Wonder Melodies had Silva and Lococo, and that was it. And she didn't play Lococo on turn 2 because she wanted something to play with the Silva and didn't know if she was going to. Ended up coming into a Hamlin, and then just played the Lococo anyway with the Silva. So kind of missing out on a turn of tempo there.
It's true, but she is hoping to gain that tempo back with the extra pings that the Silva is going to be getting.
Sure.
And of course, you can't guarantee against the ramp Dragon deck that they're going to have followers for you to jam into anyway.
That's
so
true.
Getting it out down early means that she's going to have some chance. And here we go.
We got the Malachio.
Going into the Evo turns is kind of nice. We'll see if she can set up some kind of a defense. Honestly, later in the game as well, if you can save an Evo point when the Rabomi pops, maybe you play like a pair of, Malachios down and or Malachios, and then you just go to town with them.
And Scataccio here is really great. Going to left 1 defense, get some ramp as well. We're going to be on Zernitra next turn, possibly. Oh my gosh. Okay, Paracelsus, not bad.
This is good. Spinaria
or
is a great
Spinaria,
player.
yeah, of course, one defense.
We'll see if she chooses to pre-Evo here. This is always a tough choice to make. Obviously, it's a lot harder to deal with an X7 than an X5, but it looks like she is going to save it. And I think that's correct. When you're playing the Malachios in your deck, I think saving your Evo points for them is a pretty good call.
Very nice. Has the Warbreaker Dragoon very, very nicely.
Yeah, that's just good. This good, solid value. Should have considered playing the Zoe first for the accelerate effect.
I don't know if we can see which cards were enhanced by the Warbreaker Dragoon.
So
it looks like the Zernitra. Okay,
yeah. So Zernitra and Poseidon, it looks like, got the pumps.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Which is pretty good. Poseidon for cheaper is really nice. But yeah, these cards do have like accelerate costs. It's kind of hard to like.
Yeah, the numbers are always changing. Yeah.
It's interesting. All right, so Wonder Melodies here has an okay turn, but it's going to start getting tougher from here. She didn't get a lot of damage in early. As a matter of fact, she didn't get any damage in early, even with that Silva that she played down, or the Accelerate that she played down with it. But she has a way to start hopefully gaining tempo back. I think maybe Kukuro is probably just a nice middle ground here. And then she can save the Malachio along with maybe a Paracelsus and an Evo into something next turn just to set up a really wide board next turn. I think I like this.
Now, if you trade the artifact in, it's at 2 defense, which is perfect for an evolved Kukuro to trade into. And
that's true.
Still maintain. But do you really want to waste your artifact that way? I mean, when it already has...
Doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good, no.
It doesn't feel good at all. I mean,
but you do have your Nicholas popping next turn. I mean, like you're gonna get stuff on board.
It's true. It's true. And if you don't deal with this, I mean, you're just leaving it,
Oh, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely have to get that off.
Okay, so it looks like she is going to run the Spinaria's artifact in. She still gets the 1 damage from the Silva ping, so she's not really losing too much here.
Not losing too much. Don't get the draw because there's no artifact in your deck. Yeah.
Goes Zernitra. Very strong play here. Especially with the 2 play points left over. I like this. Setting up a really wide board, really tough to deal with, as well as being able to deal with this board. Doesn't even really need to use the Evo point here, but definitely will. Seems fine.
Yeah, following the Zernitra, pretty nice considering you get another 4/4 rush.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Now with okay, 1 to face, 1 to the dragon, 1 to the other dragon. Not bad. Not too bad. Yeah, not too bad at all. I'm always like iffy if you want to do that, first. Get the 2-1 that can possibly do some damage. But of course, all of the followers that are relevant afterwards having 4 defense, not a huge risk. Yeah, it looks like Wonder Melody's going to play cleanup here instead of going for a more aggressive line.
And having substitution in hand and with the Zernitra at 1 defense, I think that makes sense. I mean, like you were able to substitute the dragon off and you can trade in with a puppet nice and easily, and you still have your last Evolve Orb left over for Paracelsus, even if you wanna play that.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Now, here's the question that Wonder Melody's asking herself. Does she want to use the Silva this turn? Does she want to save it for the 7 drop? She might have to save it at this point just because she hasn't dealt that much damage yet. Does she Hamlin the Malachio? Like, what does she do here?
I don't know.
I mean, I like setting up multiples of those, but it looks like she is going to copy. Oh no, she's going to Silva out the Paracelsus. Interesting.
She's probably still going to use an Evo point this turn, I imagine. I mean, it doesn't feel like that big of a threat, but
It's not that bad either, because using the Evo on Paracelsus always feels good.
Sure.
And she has the Hamlet in hand to copy whatever side she chooses.
To copy the artifact that you get, yeah.
And I think she's probably going to go with the ward here. The ward seems just better because you're playing against the Ramp Dragon deck. They have these Ozzy Dahakas and these Zoes. You need to be able to ward up so that you can stop yourself from taking lethal damage. Like it here.
Absolutely. Okay, Proto Bahamut coming off the top. I think the Whisper is going to come down. Possibly the Poseidon as well.
Pretty good. It's pretty good. This is the one card when I'm playing as a Portal in any variation. I'm just like, okay.
What do I do?
What do I do? Basilius, right? Basilius feels like it could be an answer, but then you're like, but they have a 7/9. If it's buffed with more regular, then it's even bigger. And then you're like, okay, well, can I Lococo this? Sure, but then now they have still a full board. You know what I mean? There's no easy way around it.
It feels pretty good in the Portalcraft. So now, I mean, Wonder Melodies has Nicholas. That's probably the best she could do.
Yep. I think Nicholas is pretty good. I think you can Hamlin out your Golem, and that's an okay play as well. But I think for the play points this turn is the most value you can get. You need to start playing the value game against Dragon, which gets harder, increasingly harder as the game goes on. But I think that's the only way you really can play against it, is you just try to play big wards and hope that their big followers have to run into them.
Okay, now Ozzy Dahaka can trade into the Robomi, and then 10 damage to face. Oh my gosh.
I mean, yeah, you can get an Evo point back with the Tortoise as well. And kind of jam a couple different ways that way as well. Honestly speaking, you can accelerate the Proto Bahamut. That seems pretty bad. Okay. All right. Another option opening up here with Zenitra just drawn.
Not bad. Just gets another Evo point here. Okay.
He's still no match for Mr. Dragon.
Okay.
Now the fight's begun.
He's doing the Tortoise. This will live after an attack into the Rubomi, so
That's
not
true.
bad.
Okay,
you still
not
have
bad.
a ward to protect. And you get to fill up the board. It seems like a really good option here. It's really tough to deal with. Wonder Melodies, you can see the smile on her face. She's like, uh-oh. She's got the look I have on my face after I deal with Poseidon.
Oh, man. What is this card? Yep. Because she didn't go for the Strike Form Golem. She went for the ward. And she's, okay, not able to play both for the enhanced effect. So there's no way to immediately affect the board this turn, but just getting a lot of wards, I think that's about all you can do.
Yep, that's absolutely the best option here. She is able to finally start getting some damage in. So it's really just going to come down to the fact, I mean, Lewis the Panda has a lot of good, okay, he's got a lot of good tools in his hand.
Not bad.
I thought that was a 10-drop one. That's not the 10-drop one.
Not 10-drop.
That was
not
close.
Yet.
Yeah, not yet. But a lot of good options here. I mean, Proto Bahamut can always wipe away a board if he needs to. He's got the Ozzy Dahaka. Zernitra can come down to clear one ward. Yeah, a lot of good things to do here. But he has to be careful. I mean, at a moment's notice, you know, a Noah, possibly an Orcus into a Noah, something like that. If you give Wonder Melodies enough time, can just come down to spike the game away from you. So you gotta be a little careful.
He did just come into another Ozzy Dahaka. I like just throwing down the 7 cost this turn.
I do kind of
trading
like
in, getting some more face damage. You have another one. You have Proto Bahamut. That feels really, really good.
Let's see. Is there any way? No. If you play the Proto Bahamut, you're just I mean, you can wipe the board. You get to keep your 8/4, but you only get 1 damage in this turn. But you do set up a really nice big threat.
It is going to be the Proto Bahamut. Probably just ending the turn right here.
Yeah, I don't mind this play at all. I don't mind this play at all. This is setting up another lethal. Wipes the entire board away. Wonder Melodies is like, okay, all right, stop it now.
All right.
And she is not going to have a response for this turn.
Whoa, that animation.
That
was pretty freaky. That was pretty freaky.
That was sweet. Maybe you're right. That is the evil eye. That's what it looked like.
It's the evil eye, man. Yeah, look, it's a giant evil eye.
Yeah, it's an eyeball.
So, Team Himari taking away a victory here. Really, really nice.
That's right. So, evening things up. I like this. I like this quite a bit here.
But yeah, I mean, if anything, that was a really convincing case for seeing Dragoncraft in the new meta.
Yeah, I think Dragoncraft is going to have a place in Montreal. I think it's going, again, Montreal is going to set the tone for the regional finals that are coming up in just a couple of weeks. And, you know, it's the bigger event for, you know, I mean, they're both huge events, right? It's the bigger event for anybody who didn't qualify for the regional finals.
Yeah.
So I think everything is going to be shaken up. I think Ramp Dragon is going to be one of those solid decks that if you feel like the entire field is going to be doing this aggro mid-rangey thing like it's been doing for so long, I think Ramp Dragon's a great plan. I mean, just look at it, right? How are you supposed to deal with all of that stuff? And that's just one style of it, right? There might be multiple styles. I mean, realistically, what you can expect, though, is Poseidon. Poseidon will be there, and you have to figure out a way to deal with this card, and you have to deal with it on curve when you're at like 6, maybe 5 play points. Like, it gets pretty rough.
That's crazy. It's crazy. All right, we have Akamar Red on the line. Let's go to him. Akamar Red, how you doing, man? What's up? How are you liking the new mini expansion?
Hey everyone, I'm doing fine. I hope you're enjoying your vacation as well as I am. And so far, I've been having a lot of fun, streaming a lot of Grammary and Warbreaker Dragoon. Those are clearly my favorite classes of the new expansion. They are kind of new to the meta, and I just gotta learn them fast because there's 2 big major tournaments coming up, so having fun with those 2.
Perfect.
For sure.
So, quick question I have for you, Akamar Red. Of course, we've been talking about having a vacation, and of course, you know, us, you know, the lay casual people, you know, we have a chance to have a vacation. I mean, explain to us what it's like trying to balance getting some time off from competitive play, as well as a new mini expansion coming out, gearing up for these big tournaments that are about to happen.
Yeah, it's honestly feels like the same schedule all the time. You just queue into ladder, play some games, see some new decks, some new archetypes. It's my favorite part of the game is the first month after a new expansion. I have so many things to experiment, so little time, but there's also no tournament, so it's like there's this blackout at the same time that we have no information from Japan, no information from Taiwan, no information from NA and EU. It's community tournaments, and we're doing the best we can on those, and so far we've been successful, me and Zerofine.
Very nice. Okay, so tell us about the list that you've brought today. I believe you were assigned Forestcraft with the Sky Devouring Horror. How do you are you using like Arias and like everything else to get the wisps just so you can actually activate, or are you just playing like the Sky Devouring Horror just to have like the 9-drop storm option?
Yeah, I had to pick Forest. It's my favorite card, my favorite class, sorry. And since it's a special event, it has a special place in my heart. Unfortunately, the mini expansion didn't treat us like the other classes. But I'm okay because I feel like it's so strong already. And yeah, I'm playing Sky Devouring Hour with Fida and Korwa, which is a really fun interaction you can do. Is to give a double strike to the Sky Devouring Aura. It kind of ignoring the fact that you can activate it with 7 cards, something I've never done, and even though I practiced a lot.
Yeah, I felt that was kind of the thing too. It's a big dude, you know what I mean? And it can go face for a lot.
The synergy seems like it works perfectly with Korra. It's a 9 cost, fills 1, and we already played 4, like right on Korwa on 5, and then right into it. And then you have 6 damage that can attack twice, 13 damage on turn 10. You're getting the chip damage in before that, of course.
That's right.
Pretty good.
That's right. So really quickly, Akamar Red, I know you were talking about how you've been playing in community events. This is your favorite time right now. How are you and you know, even Zerofine buckling down, gearing up for the next couple of weeks? Talk to us a little bit about your prep and what you expect to see out there.
Yeah, theory crafting a lot, deciding which text and what text not to use, practicing obviously, screaming, playing in all the community tournaments we have at the moment, and just trying to have fun and getting hyped to meet the HSK boys. It's our practice group, and we've known each other, me and HSK, for about a year, and Zerofine is very excited to meet them all as well.
All right, very, very nice. Okay, so do you have any words for your opponent, Saria Hart, before you go into the match? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I have something mean to say. I will bring you down from the sky like a fallen angel. Devour all hope you have. Fill you with despair. Do you feel the horror?
Ooh,
wow.
Okay.
That was really nice.
Yeah. Getting a little flavor from his deck in there.
Well said.
You know what, Akamar Red? Thank you for being on the show as always. And hopefully you have some good luck in your games. We want to see some Sky Devouring Horror played.
Pretty nice, pretty nice.
Perfect.
Okay, so now Saria Hart's bringing Swordcraft.
Yes.
Iron Fist Beast Warrior is another card kind of like Thunder Behemoth.
Untested.
Untested, really. I haven't seen it played on ladder once.
I don't think anybody. See, this is why I like these tournaments, though, right? You have to do something that maybe you wouldn't want to, right? Or maybe you did want to do it, and this is finally your platform to show it to everybody.
We know that Saria Hart loves Swordcraft.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's why he went with it. You know what I mean? And he's a wonderful person. I know I've met him a couple times. He's great, and I think he is one of those types of deck builders that can really build something that will show us something new and have a lot of fun with it.
Because I was theory crafting just a little bit, trying to figure out, okay, how could the Iron Fist Beast Warrior have some good use? Like so it pulls a card from your deck for enhanced 9 and then reduces its cost by, I think, almost entirely. Reduces its cost by 9.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you can just play it on 6, I believe, as a 4/6.
Reduces the cost by 2.
Reduces the cost by 2. So you want to play it in more of a mid-rangey, late-game Swordcraft deck. Maybe it's a time to try Spartacus, you know what I mean? Just so you can keep pulling cards out of your deck and you just have this like high value end game of just like big dudes.
Not even going for the win with a card.
Right. And then possibly just setting up combos. Maybe you can't really do it in rotation yet, but maybe there might be something figured out in Unlimited, something like that. But I feel like it's definitely a value card. It's something that you can play in the old school style of Swordcraft, whereas it's kind of turned into this like aggro mid-range deck. Before it was mid-range control, and maybe it can kind of help fill that gap that Swordcraft's been kind of lacking for a while.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about the enhanced 9 cost. There's nothing really that you could pull that's of any significant, like no 10 cost Swordcraft followers.
We'll get there.
Well, okay, you're right. Yeah, we still have
the new expansion. I think it's a really nice
expansion.
setup card. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a really nice setup card.
Okay. We'll see it. We'll see how it works with mid sword. I'm assuming. I mean, Sky Fortress and Arthur's and everything.
Yeah, play the big boys.
Could be really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I really like what Akumar Red brought. I think that's probably one of the best Force decks right now.
I think it's really good. I mean, he talked about liking Korra for the longest time, right? He brought it to, I mean, even competition. He did really well with it. You know what I mean? And even spiking in tournaments. So Korra was just really nice to let Forestcraft play a late game. How do you spike damage? Right now it's White Vanara plus the fills, essentially. And then if you kind of add that, I don't know if you would actually play 3 in a competitive deck, but it might be a
3
nice...
Sky Devouring Horrors?
Right.
Okay,
it might be a nice 4th White Vanara in your deck, right?
That's actually exactly what I do in my Korra deck. I just have 3 White Vanaras and 1 Sky Devouring Horror. It's a way that you just push. I mean, because the White Vanaras can push for 10 damage when they're like enhanced twice, and then the Devouring Horror pushes for 12. It's like you just have 4 options. One's a little bit stronger than the others.
And sometimes you need that little extra push of damage. Sometimes you just need an extra effect with your combo, as combo decks often do. Maybe they don't get the White Vanara on time. Maybe you need the Sky Devouring Horror just to spike, or maybe you just need those extra couple points of damage. I like all of the holes it fills. Plus, even without the combo, you can still spike the damage. Fills.
All the holes it fills. Yeah.
Nice. All the holes it fills, yeah.
And sometimes, I mean, like, don't listen to me. And sometimes, I mean, I'll find myself, like, if I feel like, oh, I've got this really aggressive curve, I'm going first, they haven't really had answers to my things, White Vanara, I can just, right on turn 7, I can just use the fill on that without attacking twice, just push for 5 damage, and then another 5 damage, and then, like, it works so well depending on however else you want to play.
It feels good.
It feels good.
Perfect.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at the clips for that poem that Akumar read.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty nice.
I'm not 100% right, because I haven't looked at all of the flavor, but I think it was a merging of the flavor of the cards in his deck.
Yeah. There were puns or play on words involving like the names of the cards. Like,
it might even be taken from, like, you know those screens that pop up in Shadowverse where it shows you the little flavor behind the cards. Maybe some was taken a little bit from that, and then you kind of merged them together. But in any which way, that was really nicely done.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we're moving around. We're actually going to jump to the next match coming up soon. Ganger and Mango. So we're going to be interviewing them to see how their matches are going to go. Take a look at their decks to see what they brought. It's going to be pretty nice.
I like it. So yeah. So it looks like just having an issue with sorry, just for a second, right?
Yeah.
Just
nothing big.
So So more new cards that we're gonna get to see. So we'll put that last one on the back burner. All of our Phil jokes aside.
Now we're going into Grimory and Havencraft with Ziki Baba. Ganger, I mean, you're the man to tell us about Grimory. What is up?
What's up, Ganger?
How's it going?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
It's great, man. Congratulations, by the way, with that new tag. I hope everybody can see it right now. He is no longer just Ganger, okay? He's now
Fox Ganger.
He's now Fox Ganger. Perfect, Ganger. Awesome. It's been a little while since we've seen you. You know, since you've qualified, maybe you've been taking a little vacation yourself. Welcome back to the mix. Yeah. Talk to us about the mini expansion. What's got you excited?
Everything. I like just everything new in general is just super exciting for me, and experimenting with different cards, especially Shadow. It's gotten a little bit stronger, but not too strong, which I like.
All right, nice, pretty nice. Okay, so tell us about your deck. So you're required to use Grimory. Tell us about that card. Like, how do you like it working with Arcus? I'm assuming you're bringing the Arcus list.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, I am. It's just the standard one you see on ladder. I want to win against Cure Mango a lot, so might as well try it just a little bit.
So are you putting all your chips in the basket of having the OTK on turn 10, or are you trying to get more chip damage, as much chip damage in as much as you can, not really relying on that?
since I'm going against Haven, I'm trying to push for that turn 10 win.
Okay, nice.
I like it. I like it. They have a chance to stay at 20 for most of the game, so you want to be able to break through it if it comes to that, which I really like. So Gengar, talk to us. You've had a little bit of time. Talk to us about your prep, if you have been prepping at all, if you've been gearing up for Montreal, if you've been gearing up for any of the future events coming up. Talk to us about what you've been up to.
Yeah, I've been practicing a lot for Montreal, off stream, on stream, just playing the game in general and trying to be better than I am now, and hopefully moving forward I could do something more. I don't know.
All right, very nice. Okay, so now you've been paired with your new teammate.
Not today.
Mango.
Not today.
Gonna have a team killer. I mean, do you have any words for Mango?
You know, a wise man once said, "Silence is louder than words." But I'm not a wise man, so Cure Mango, you're going down.
Yes!
Nice!
My man, that's what I
Nice.
like to hear. Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see your games. I can't wait to see Shadow played by Gengar himself. Gengar, one of my favorite Shadowcraft players as it stands today, so it's going to be fun.
Very nice. Yeah, I mean, this is another matchup that I'm really excited to see because it's very well something that we could see in the Shadowverse Open. Shadow versus Tempo Haven.
We will see Shadow
We absolutely will.
in Montreal.
I mean,
It's a
if anything,
good
Akamar
deck.
Red sounded like he was really excited about it. Because he was saying Dragon and Shadow are the two decks I've been playing most
when
of.
I thought it was great, right? And I believe it was Akamar Red who said it's just not right there just yet. Of course, I disagree. But now, it's much closer.
Yeah.
Even if you were one of these people who were like, Shadow, it's just never going to be there, right? It's still closer than it was. And in my mind, it's over the top now, baby. It's ready to go.
All right. Let's see what Mango has to say about the mini expansion, about his Haven deck. Mango, what is up, man? How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on,
Very
Mango?
nice.
I see.
Hey.
So have you gotten a chance to enjoy your time off since the tournament, kind of refresh your mind, or have you just been going hard at the practicing?
A little bit of both. You know, practicing and as practicing is enjoying the game, so it's kind of a vacation by itself, right?
There we go. I like it. When
Very
you can
nice.
mix
Very
it,
good
yeah.
answer. So tell us about your deck. Tell us about Ziki Baba. How do you like the way that it fits into a Havencraft list?
I've been trying different builds. Like, problem is like Haven has different like foils that you have to build. You have to like build Summit, you have to build Tenko. I tried neutral, but neutral is kind of doesn't feel that good with the Golden Lion and
Eagle Man. I'm
the
assuming.
Eagle Man and the twin tigers. Yeah, just the deck doesn't feel good until maybe turn 9. So
Okay.
I went with Tenko.
Oh,
Tanko
very
it
nice.
is.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Tanko maybe just for some extra value with the Siki at the end of the game,
Yeah.
which is really nice.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, so now do you have any words for Gengar? Do you have any words for your opponent? I mean, yeah.
Welcome to the Fox family. I'm gonna have to initiate you now.
Oh, all right.
wow.
Throw down the gauntlet.
Okay.
Welcome to the team. Time to put you in your place. That's basically what I heard.
Very nice. Very nice. So GLHF with your game. We'll be getting into the game nice and soon. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much. And I like it. We've got more players being inducted into these teams.
Pretty great.
It's super fun to watch. Gengar, I mean, very well deserving of it. He's somebody that's already been qualified. He's ready to go. Like he said, he's had his time in vacation, but he's ready to get practice. He's been practicing in Montreal. Honestly speaking, even if you are qualified, adding that, just on your nameplate for, these are my accomplishments. I've won this, and these big DreamHack events, these big World Circuit events, whatever you want to call them or whoever's running them, they're just huge. You know what I mean? They're massive. They mean a lot to all of the players that go. They mean a lot to the community at large. I mean, Japan looks at these events and starts noticing these players. You know what I mean? They're like, ooh, that's the American player I need to watch out for, stuff like that. So the stakes are high at these events.
The stakes are really high. I mean, like even now, like the regional finals, like the open qualifiers for the Shadowverse Open, they're kind of done for the year. But I mean, things are just ramping up more than ever before with these offline events and certainly with the Contenders Cup. I mean,
we've got so much going on. We've got Montreal coming up next week. In 2 weeks, we've got the regional finals starting for Pan America and Europe. I mean, after that, we've got last chance qualifier. We've got
the wild card
Cup
tournament as well.
We've got the World Grand Prix, where somebody in the Shadowverse world is going to be winning $1 million.
$1 million.
$1 million.
I think about that probably like once a week, and I'm like, that That's absurd.
It's gonna happen.
That's so much money.
It's gonna happen at some point this year where you guys are gonna be like, you know, maybe I was a little afraid to play in competition, and maybe, you know, I couldn't make it to all the tournaments. I couldn't be building my points. You're gonna see this guy that's on your team win $1 million.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, why
did I not do that?
But in any case, jumping into this game, we've got Echo Fox's Gengar versus Echo Fox's Cure Mango. Two of the best right now.
Best.
Let's go.
It's going to be pretty good. Who is going to give Crumjin and Himari the 5,000 vials for the final match today? We're going to find out. Looking at the curves right about now. Yep.
Yeah, pretty solid for both players here. I mean, good card draw here for Gengar. Looks like he is playing the Corpse Lord of Woe version. I really like it because, again, with Gremory, you just have access to more free evolution orbs. This is a card that plays really nicely when you do have access to that, especially going second, things like that. And like he said, he's building it for the turn 10 kill, so looking to just play advantageous until he builds up a Fairy in his hand, an Ephemera, and then...
You don't even need an Ephemera, you just need Gremory.
You don't need it. That's true. That's true.
We don't know if he has Ephemera in his deck, but all you need is Gremory, Fairy, and a 1-drop. Or a 2-drop. Yeah. That's all you need. And that's 20 damage right there on turn 10. It's crazy.
It's a lot of good things happening, is what it is. Absolutely.
Okay, nice. Comes into the Arcus. Really, really good.
Perfect. So card draw there, removal there, Corpse Lord to gum up the mid game as well as Saris, and then he's already got Arcus. So now really just looking for that Fairy and Gremory or Ephemera, whatever whatever he's playing in here.
Yep, absolutely. And we do see kind of the fault of this Shadowcraft deck is how it can play in the mid game, and that's why we see a lot of players bring Saris of the Night cards to just give Shadowcraft an edge so it can hang on until Arcus comes down.
Because that's realistically what it's trying to do, and I think that's the same reason why Corpse Lord is put in these decks. You don't really need Evo points in Shadow. You just need to be able to deal with the board, which I guess really means you need Evo points. But if you don't have followers that matter to Evo, like Andriolphus doesn't get much bigger, Lady Grey is really great, but only 3 attack. You need to be able to deal with bigger followers sometimes, so you have to play something in the mid-game to use your Evolution Orbs on. And I think these cards are about as good as it gets.
And you have Troth's Curse, you have Fran, you have ways to immediately affect the board by destroying followers, but you need to have a follower that's that has the ability to be targeted on the other side of the field, something that can take damage or not be destroyed from spells. I mean, like, those are all things that can kind of muck up what this deck is trying to do.
Absolutely. And from what I can see what Cure Mango's doing, playing one of the top tier decks, you know, right before the mini expansion, playing Tenko Shrine Haven, has a really nice curve, has the Tenko Shrine in his hand with a White Fang to set up, has basically everything he needs, right? He's got the Delafill, he's got the Jean. The problem that I see with his hand right now is he doesn't have a quick way to end the game.
Right.
Which means that if Gengar can possibly get to turn 10, doesn't matter if Cure Mango is at 20. If he doesn't have consistent, consecutive boards coming down, it might just be the end of the game for him at any point in time. So we'll see here what he can put together.
Now, one thing that Tenko Shrine can find difficult is clearing the board so that your Tenko Shrine pings can go face.
Yes, absolutely. And honestly, it's never played in the way where it just tries to aggressively do that, right? It basically just tries to set up tempo to where it removes the board, saves the Evo points for later, and then eventually starts pinging with Tenko Shrine, and maybe eventually even taking over with something like a Heavenly Knight. Right now, we don't really see any of those options. It's just going to be the, I need to try to control this board, and Saris is not easy to deal with. Here we go, going into the next turn here. Gengar, a few options here. Could go with the Corpse Lord option. Corpse Lord's pretty good. He's got Pure-Hearted Singer. He's got some more card draw. I mean, he could even choose the Andriolphus Evo here. He's got Troth's Curse to set up for the Delafill next turn, so he's not going to be too worried about that. A lot of good options here.
Yep, a lot of good options, especially with the Corpse Lord of Woe possibly coming down.
Yeah, I don't mind any of these options, honestly. He can push for tempo here. I mean, he can play Fran, he can play the 3-2, he can draw some cards with the Demon Eater. I mean, yeah, there we go. I think Corpse Lord is the strongest option. It just puts down this mid-game that threatens a Gremory, that basically says, even if you deal with my board, I can still, you know, pop it up next turn.
Yeah, that was such a great trade. I mean, Saris, that's not going away anytime soon. I mean, that value is just insane. Even with Delafill, there's not a way to really clear the entire, I mean, certainly not a way to clear the entire board this turn.
Nope.
Oh man, that Corpse Lord is just going to stick around.
We're going to need some lucky pings here for Cure Mango to clear this board.
Yep.
Or at least clear one of these followers off.
Well, the 4 damage is going to hit the Corpse Lord, and then it's just going to kind of spawn itself. And
this is the best play. This is the best play. You don't guarantee you know, the Corpse Lord being dead, but you guarantee at least something being dead.
At least something
really nice. Yeah.
And you're forcing your opponent to use those shadows on the Corpse Lord. It's going to evolve and be able to trade in. But now if Gengar wants to, okay, but Gengar does have Troth's Curse, so he can effectively clear the board quite nicely.
I mean, he can Evo, he can Fran's Curse. He has a lot of options here. This is the scary part of Corpse Lord. If you let it survive an Evo on your opponent's turn, not only does it Evo, but it can attack face. It can deal a lot of damage. Again, Gengar doesn't really need to push for face damage with this deck, but he can choose to if he wants.
He doesn't have the Grimoire or the Fairy, which are two of the main components.
That's true.
And he's going to want to save, I think he's going to want to save an Evolve Orb to use on the Arceus next turn. So he can easily, he can Pure-Hearted Singer, he can draw, he can try to get the Grimoire, he can try to get the Fairy, and he can Troth's Curse the Pure-Hearted Singer to take out the Dragon as well. He can get some followers on board, he can draw. I think that feels pretty good.
Yeah, this does feel pretty good.
Or Troth's Curse on the entry office.
I like this too. This puts some more defense on board. I assume this is going to be followed up by a Velenus, just so that Tenko Shrine has again a harder time dealing with the entire board here, which I like. Kirmeko's got to start making options. I don't feel like he can play down a second De La Fill now. I think he needs to reserve it for turn 10 just so he can buy himself more time if it gets later into the game, because again, he has no way to clearly just end the game before turn 10. So he's going to have to be playing in a very particular way in order to actually overcome the combo that Gengar can basically get to whenever he wants to.
Right, absolutely.
At this point.
Yeah, so if Mango wanted to play De La Fill this turn, evolve, trade into the Corpse Lord, like that's fine. But then you don't have your ward for the late game. I think Mango knows that, which is why he's playing the John here.
Absolutely. So just clearing the board as best he can, which I like. Finally dealing with that Corpse Lord. Really good here. But now Arceus is going to start bringing the pain.
Arceus has a nice Evo target. It's going to be nice. And there's Demon Eater, there's Pure-Hearted Singer, so there's some draw in the hand of Gengar as well, so he still has time to draw into the Grimoires and draw into the Fairies that he needs.
That's true. And basically just considering if he wants to Evo here, right now he's looking up at the RNG god saying, if I don't Evo here, what's the worst that could happen?
Bless me, please.
Yeah, bless me, please. Just let it be fine. Let me not have to use my Evolution Orb here, because honestly speaking, a 2-3 is not that dangerous. But the other thing you have to consider is if you let no damage through ever from this Havencraft player, you just buy yourself infinite time. So very hard choice here.
And he's not going to Evo, okay.
I don't mind the choice at all.
Okay, Mango comes into his Ikebaba. If that comes down next turn, it could be so difficult for Gengar to actually deal with that huge board that it's going to establish.
Yeah, we'll see what it actually gets to put in play. I've never seen this card actually be put in play yet. So it's fun. We get to see the new animation. It looks really nice. See what it does here. He's definitely going to have time to play it.
Absolutely.
So basically just trying as hard as he can to not fill up the board with amulets so that he can get the most value out of it. I really like this, saving all of them, especially saving them for something like Sreenine Hind, just so he can activate it at will. Really like the way he's playing here.
Okay, Arceus is active for Gengar. How can he best clear the board? Pure-Hearted Singer for draw, gets 3 ghosts. Okay.
Nice, can always Demon Eater to draw more cards. Can always Troth's Curse to clear follower. I mean, doesn't really need to do that. All the followers are small enough. This is where I love Shadow. It's after Arceus is played and just the flexibility of everything that you can do. You draw infinite cards, you make infinite dudes. You have removal for pretty much anything in the game. There's a Grimoire.
Okay, Grimoure's pretty nice.
Still missing the Fairy at this moment, though. But again, if you just look at the amount of cards drawn already, right? He's had 1 turn of active Arceus, has already gotten himself down to 22 cards left in his deck to Kirmeko's 29. So an extra 7 cards drawn so far this game.
That's crazy. Okay, so Fran in hand. They can get 3 ghosts, and then the Fran's Curse in your hand. You could clear off the Jean, I guess, or would you not just want to push damage all the way? I mean, your followers are going to be destroyed anyway.
I think if you're Gengar, you want to clear board. Again, it's just this option of I want to slow down my opponent as much as possible so I have time to draw my Fairy.
I'll show you.
I think it's interesting too. So Skull Ring is a card that I've seen a lot of players play. I don't play it in my deck. I choose to play the Wayne of the Bro family over it.
Gotcha.
I don't like it in the deck because it takes up a slot.
It does.
Taking up a slot is really hard to work with Arceus because you want all of your spaces so you can do a lot more things with it. But it has the added benefit of working really well with Grimoire. Forget all the stuff I'm talking about.
Ziggy-Baba.
That was pretty good.
That was really good.
Ziggy-Baba was just like, you know what, I'm going to take over the board. I'm going to put big followers into play, deal with it.
Yep.
Right before turn 10. This is nice, but again, it's only 12. He doesn't have a board wipe. But then again, against Arcus, he might not need it.
And he doesn't have Fairy. Yeah, there was no way to give those, to evolve those ghosts and then give him the ability to attack 3 times. Yeah, he's got a clear board, which he can do and still get a lot of chip damage in. But even then, I mean, Tinko Shrine is kind of fine with that little bit of chip damage.
It is. It is. I mean, it can survive what's been happening right now, especially because Gengar doesn't have the Fairy right now. He only really has one other card he can use with Gremory at the moment. Skull Ring's going to pop and take up a board slot again with a follower that can attack.
Right.
Luck is perfect on you.
We're going to see here what Kirmega can put together. He's got a lot of amulets here, but no way to officially pop them immediately. He's going to have to wait on that.
Pretty low curve, and those pings from Tinko Shrine coming in. Okay, gets an injury office.
Okay.
Big Soul Hunter is going to be really, really nice, especially when those dragons and the Zikibabas come down.
Yeah, if there's another repeat here. Honestly, if I'm Gengar, I might just throw out the Arcus. I might just throw out the Arcus and say, deal with my 6/6, and then just start playing all of my smaller followers behind it.
Interesting. Yeah, your opponent only used 2 play orbs out of 10 last turn.
Yeah, you know what? Arcus Skull Ring seems really good here. Just fill up the board with followers that actually stick around. And then if nothing, really gets dealt with, then you have the Gremory to evolve everything. Feels pretty good.
Hey, looks like he's going to go for some healing, though.
Okay, definitely not a bad choice.
And uses the Gremory here just to evolve these other 2 followers. It does, at the end of your turn, oh, no, Gremory, yeah, that's right, it's destroyed. If Arcus wasn't active, Gremory gives your evolved followers the ability to draw a card when they're destroyed.
That's true.
Ooh.
That was pretty nice.
That was
draw
nice.
Here. Thembus's Purge is about the best spot you're going to have to play it after your opponent uses a Gremory just defensively here just to set up a board. I like this. So we're getting into a late game where Gengar does not have his combo. Okay.
Has another Gremory, but I think this might be the turn, like you said last turn, to just play the Skull Ring.
Play the Arcus. Yep, just get some big boys out there. Skelly boys are kind of small.
The Skelly boys, yeah, they're little, they're tiny.
They're tiny. But Arcus is pretty big here. Again, not drawing into the worst cards here. Johns are okay. You definitely need a way to finish off this Arcus. You can Hourglass plus John this turn to clear board, and then get 2 face damage in, which seems pretty good. I think that's what Kirmengo's going to do here.
Pretty good.
I shall guide you to glory.
And Tinko Shrine is taken away, slowly but surely.
That's right. So it looks like Kirmengo might opt to not get 2 face damage in and try to keep a 3-2 in play.
Right. Either way, I mean, that feels just like a preference. Like, do you want to keep your 3-2? Do you want to push the game?
This is one of those decks where you can try that just because Arcus might not leave you with anything in play, but these Skull Rings are kind of changing that dynamic a little bit.
Right. Okay, Pure Hearted Singer, that's really nice.
Okay, see what he gets off of this.
I'm coming for
Great.
you.
Mischievous Ghost.
Ghost, okay. Okay, looks like he's, going to trade those in.
Right, this is getting scarier for Gengar. I mean, the longer he waits, the more and more damage he's going to take.
You use your last Gremory, and that didn't really work out too well.
No,
so, I mean, you need, I feel like he needs to save his Gremory for having a Fairy because he can close out the game.
He has to save it now. There's nothing for him to actually set into play. So he can either spike some damage with it or just hold on to it.
Well, he could theoretically Mischievous Spirit and then Gremory. That would give him 2 ghosts to evolve. That's 6 damage, but or 7 damage plus the ghost from the Gremory. Now that doesn't feel very good.
Yeah, that doesn't feel very good. And I feel like even next turn, if a Fairy's drawn right, if one of the board slots is taken up, you actually can't spike for 20 damage, right?
That's true.
So yeah, the Skull Rings are making it a little rough here. Obviously, he hasn't drawn a Fairy yet, so that's probably making it a little bit more rough. See if we can get it done. Kirmengo's doing everything in his power to get this game won, though. Gengar's feeling it.
Yeah, Skull Ring, like you said, it doesn't feel that great. I mean, like, I guess it kind of tries to solve the problem in the early game of needing something to play to gain some value early in the game. But now it feels like it's hindering Gengar's OTK.
It is.
More than helping him out.
It is. We'll see if it matters come the end of the game, though. There's the Hind finally drawn, and with all these extra amulets in the deck, it's pretty nice. Hind is almost always going to be active. He's going to immediately pop just to heal back up all the way to 20. Oh, no, he's not. Interesting. Okay, I thought maybe the push here was to try to get back up to 20 because
he's going for more damage.
Yeah. I like this option, too. This is not giving Gengar any time. I think it needs to be a soul conversion into a fairy here, something to that effect. That's neither of those cards.
This song's for you.
Oh boy.
Okay, another Mischievous Spirit. So can he, I think he can clear the board if he wants to. Remory, that would evolve. That's 9 damage with the 3 ghosts.
Yeah, get some use out of the Bellinus as well. I think he might have to go for that play, but got to be careful, right? Because we still have a Tenko Shrine in play. The De La Fill is still active, and all it takes is one more heal, and the game's over, which Kiermango could potentially set up here with the Jean and the Hourglass in hand. So
the Bellinus on Gengar's side is going to stick around, so that's another target for the Tenko Shrine to take out.
True.
Which, if Mango doesn't have a way to affect the board, then the Bellinus will eat up all the Tenko Shrine pings.
See, I mean, Jean deals with it.
Jean does deal with it, yeah.
Jean comes down and deals with it just fine. All right, so it looks like Gengar's just going to do the board wiping game. And from what we can see in hand, I believe Kiermango has this. Next turn, he just plays Hourglass into Jean. Opponent takes 2. End of turn, De La Fill procs.
Yeah,
Opponent
there it
takes
is.
2. Gengar!
Oh,
Where's
man.
your fairies, bro? Come on, man. Doesn't even need to play the Hourglass now because the Jeweled Priestess did stick around. So you do need a target in play for it to be healed so that you get the extra damage off the Jean, but it looks like the Hind will work just as well this turn. Same. All right. And Kiermango is going to walk away the victor in this matchup where I really feel like Shadow has the edge.
All right. I mean, man, I was not expecting that outcome at all.
Look at that. Look at that stone cold killer face right there. Kiermango is like, nah.
So, I mean, those are the 2 Echo Fox boys, and I mean, like, that seemed pretty convincing to me. But still, I mean, Havencraft into Shadowcraft. Those are the 2 of the strongest classes now. I mean, well, Shadowcraft is kind of, Havencraft's been around for a while, and Shadowcraft's just kind of come out of the woodwork, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you notice now, Shadow had everything to do all the way until turn 10, right? Like, it was Havencraft that was always trying to claw back into the game.
Right.
Turns out you can just close the door if you have the fairy.
When you have the Tenko Shrine, the White Fang Temple into the Tenko Shrine, into the De La Fill. It felt, I mean, like Havencraft was able to like maintain its footing and stay alive because of that.
Here's what I mean. On top of that, like, it doesn't matter if you get the perfect draw with Havencraft. The Shadow deck really just stays on pace and doesn't let you get any damage in. You don't deal any damage, but that's playing your game. You're playing the combo deck. So we got to turn 10.
And then there wasn't a fairy.
And there wasn't a fairy. I feel like Shadow just needs that one piece. And you know what? I mean, you go through over half of your deck, and you don't find one of your cards. It feels pretty rough.
It's just one of those games.
Sometimes it happens. Yeah.
All right.
That's right. That's the downside of playing a combo deck every once in a while.
Yeah. Cool. So that was a great game. We're moving right along. We're going to be seeing Akamar Red play against Saria Heart coming up sometime soon. So we're going to see Forest into Swordcraft. Let's talk about that matchup. I mean, I like Swordcraft. It's been so wishy-washy for me over time because it was such a mainstay in everybody's deck.
It's never been wishy-washy for me. Swordcraft, you know what? I love Shadowverse, okay, but Swordcraft, it's not gonna do it for me.
All right.
You know?
All right.
I'm excited about the new cards because I really like the old version of Swordcraft better. I don't like this just insane value. I have to draw Arthur. I have to draw X, Y, Z things. I just want to be able to play a value game later in the game, and I think this is one step in the right direction. I think Latham was the first step in my eyes, and I think the second step is this new mini expansion. So, jumping into this game, guys, we have Akamara Red here with what we like, right? Forestcraft with some good cards on tempo. We got Saria Heart on the other side of things with some nice anti-forest cards. So Saria definitely teched against Forestcraft. He's got some Confront Adversity up there.
That's pretty good.
I like it. I like it. He's got Lathams. Lathams are now a new standard for the deck. He's got Roundtable Assemblies as well.
Roundtable Assemblies, yeah, probably using that with, I mean, I'm assuming either, the Charlotta or the Lancer or the Tempest, either one of those work fine, but Charlotta, I feel like in a Forestcraft matchup, just works so well, giving your followers that ability to reduce spell damage, or reduce spell damage to 0.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go. Nice little counter punch here from Saria Heart. Got the Hedgehog. Hedgehog always one of the best followers against the early game of Forestcraft. Essentially 1/3s in general, right? Once you can punch through the little fairies and you don't have to worry about them too much, feels pretty good.
Oh yeah, even with Wood of Brambles, I mean, the Hedgehog is still going to be able to trade into the Water Fairy nice and easy, be left with 1 defense, and then it gains a buff, so it's at 2 attack then, and man, that feels pretty good. It's a lot of damage mitigated.
May the forest
Here we go. Looks like Akama Red just going to build up that hand advantage. We've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of competitive Forestcraft being played, and Fairy Whisper on 2 seems the best option these days, even if you have something like Storied Falcon or whatever. I mean, of course, it's matchup dependent if you're going first and second, but Fairy Whisper, especially when you can bounce it back to your hand, it just sets up the rest of your game so nicely. It activates all of your rains. It makes your elf songs good. If you're playing them, I mean, it makes basically everything in your deck just tick properly.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so now Akama Red, he has... Ooh, okay, that's really, really nice, an Insect Lord there. Let's see, so...
That almost might have been necessary for maybe the luck chance at the Hedgehog here. Because if this Hedgehog gets buried behind wards and you can't find something like an Airbound Barrage early in this game, uh-oh.
It looks like he is going to go for Wood of Brambles, though, just like guaranteed. You get the Wood of Brambles on the field, you get the fairies in your hand, but either way, that's going to be a lot of damage that Akama Red is going to be taking this turn.
You know, I don't like to root for players all that often, but I'm really hoping that this Hedgehog can somehow survive. I don't think it's possible.
You can root for cards.
Yeah, I want Roundtable Assembly to come down and just put those double wards down, protect that threat, and go crazy. But I think because Akama Red is going to have that first Evolution Orb, there's not really any good way to protect it here on 4. Confront Adversity being one of the options. Might even be the only option here. I mean, technically it does put a ward down, so technically it could be a way to protect it.
Okay.
We won't give him an inch.
But of course, we know Akama Red has access to the old Wombo here. Wood of Brambles with Rain on 4. It's pretty good.
Yep. Not too bad. Yep, 2 fairies, Rain. Got to be able to clear the board nice and easily. Definitely feels like the play.
Yeah. Can't really see any better here. Evo over the ward with the Rain and then just jump right into the Hedgehog. Looks like he's thinking about all of his options here, though. Maybe thinking about a Fita play. Fita doesn't really get anything done here. Maybe thinking about an Insect Lord play. Potentially could be better.
Huh.
Maybe you don't spend your Evo point here if you get a lucky Insect Lord, something like that.
I mean, that's a 33% chance.
It's a 33% chance.
1 in 3. That seems risky. I mean, when you have the first Evo point, and you have a Rain, and you have the 2 fairies. Why not?
Well, he's probably thinking about turn 5. So turn 5 comes around if he has a Roundtable Assembly, if he has a Celia, something like that. How do I actually punch through the bigger followers?
But that's why you have the Insect Lord. That's why you keep it there.
It's true. It's true. I mean, he also.
Well, yeah. Okay. I guess if a Charlotta comes out, then Insect Lord won't be.
Right.
Okay. That seems
All right. It's gonna go with the Rain play here. It does. It is the most straightforward play. It makes the most sense here. So. Kind of run through the paces here. Cassiopeia is in duplicate in Akama Red's hand too, so very good card to have against Swordcraft. Just nice board control elements here.
Try your heart as well. He has the Celia and the Roundtable Assembly. So yeah, plenty of things to do on turn 5 here. I think.
I mean, if Roundtable's in your deck, right? This is the turn to play it, unless you don't have good options for the turn here. Okay, but it is the Mars Charlotta combo.
Good order there.
The nice order.
That's
you don't see that often anymore. Actually very good here, right? Actually super good here because the protection shield helps against Wood of Brambles. The extra defense also makes it really hard to deal with from the smaller followers that Akama Red can present. So you can't just run into this next turn with the Fairy. It's really nice. There it is.
Ooh, okay.
There's the Sky Devouring Horror.
The horror itself. Okay, so now... what can Akama Red do? He has Fita, he has 2 fairies. Insect Lord not really going to be doing anything.
This is
very difficult.
This is where it sucks sometimes in Shadowverse.
Yeah,
where you don't have the perfect answer.
You might just have to evolve this fairy, trade in, and then fill up your board.
He might just keep everything in his hand, just for the biggest Cassiopeia he can get next turn.
Okay.
Leaving the 1/1 in play doesn't really accomplish too much. So I like the play here from Akama Red. And I think if you're Sorry Heart, it's just time to fill now. I think this is
Celia.
A really good Celia turn.
Really good
you have the Mars, it lived, right?
Yep.
You can even Evo the Mars and go face with that ward protection. I think this is a very strong turn.
This strategy will do it.
You can see it on Akama Red's face. It's like, how do I deal with this now? We had to leave the Mars in play.
Yep.
He just got insane value out of it.
Oh my gosh. This is what Swordcraft does, man. This is what Swordcraft is all about.
See, so we've got, if there's no Evo, we're looking at 8, 9, 10, 13 points of defense. Cassiopeia cannot hope to catch up to that. With an Evo point, it means there is no guarantee for anything to die. This is, I mean, even without an Evo point, there's not really a guarantee. see here. Sorry, really thinking about this one. I kind of like the Evo point here. When you have the advantage like this, you press full court. You know what I mean? You don't let up.
I mean, considering the hand, though, that Saryahart has, there's not much else that he can do. Next turn, I mean, he doesn't have... Okay, yeah.
I love the leader, too. Leader's like, burn. You're playing against Forestcraft? That's like the perfect taunt, too.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty rough being up on nature like that.
Okay, I think you just have to Elf Song. Or excuse me, you have to Cassiopeia.
I think you have to.
And
I mean, the only other option, right, is you play like Fairy, Vita, Insect Lord. I mean, that's only 4 damage spike. You can't really...
It's not going to take out the Mars or the Celia.
That's not enough. You have to cast here. You have to Cassiopeia and pray. And you pray that 5 damage finds that Mars.
Of
because
course,
if that Mars leaves, like, gets around for another turn, I mean, that's too much.
Yeah. Gosh.
So we've got 7 damage to spread. 5 there, 2 on the ward. Evo over the Celia would be like heaven, right? Then you're back in this game.
Pretty good.
If you get the perfects. I don't know if there's another play that you can make here. I think he's backed into a corner. I think the round table assembly was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
And it was essential, the order.
Yeah.
Because if the Fairy could have taken out the Charlotta, then the Mars could have been dealt with.
Yep. Yeah, the Charlotta being left with 2 defense, so that the Fairy couldn't trade in there. Yeah, that was really nice.
Absolutely perfect. Okay, he's not going to go with the play. He's going to go for a card draw effect, it looks like, instead. Going to play this into Elf Song, draw a card, hopefully get some. Okay.
Oh, wow, okay.
This worked.
That really worked.
He got the 1 and 4 for this play to work.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Okay.
You know what? Maybe he's like, Cassiopeia is riskier. At least in this way, I get to draw extra cards. I get to get more options going into the next few turns. Wow.
It still maintains a 5-1 and a 2-2.
Maintained. I love it.
Okay, now for turn 7, Saryahart has Lancer. Nothing else to really affect the board, though, aside from that. He can ward up with the Holy Bear Knight.
I don't mind the ward here.
Yeah.
Ward to protect these followers is pretty good.
He can ward and Hedgehog.
Yeah, ward Hedgehog seems nice. You can play the Lancer. Lancer doesn't really get anything done outside of that, though. You definitely want to save the Latham at this moment. So probably saving the Lancer makes more sense just because you have a follower that you can play from hand after the Latham.
After the Latham, so it can attack, and you summon the Knight so that it can attack. Yeah.
I also don't mind Charlotta into Hedgehog into another ward. That way you play double wards, you fill up the board again. You make Cassiopeia much harder to use.
Yeah. Okay. The Knight, the Holy Bear Knight is the bigger ward, and with 7 play points, I mean, the turn that I like the most is Holy Bear Knight and Bladed Hedgehog.
Yeah, definitely not a bad plan. Sorry, it's taking his time to figure all of this out, what he wants to do. I think you do have to trade into that Vita. I don't think you can let it stay.
Absolutely not.
This is the one threat post-Evo here.
Sorry.
There we go. And it is going to be the play.
Pretty nice.
Right. So, yeah, Celia actually going to go for the whole board clear here. Not going to give any room to Akamaru Red. I don't mind the play, but with the resources that Saria has in hand, I think I would have liked going for face a little bit more. Here we go. See if Cassiopeia can keep the RNG alive here for Akamaru Red.
That wasn't bad. That was pretty good.
Figuring out 2 followers.
Okay, now Latham in hand for Saria. I mean, this is where the game takes a turn, my friend.
This is where, Big Daddy Latham comes down and says, hey, what's up?
Saryahart can clear the board.
Time for me to take over. Can clear the board, can push face for 4 and
that
still clear out one of the fairies.
Push face for 5. Or, or clear out one of the fairies. There's options, man. This card gives you options.
So many options, especially with the hand building up for Saria now. Saria coming into a frontline Cavalier, which is really nice with Latham as well. You get some extra healing that way. Get the Lancer in hand for an automatic attack just to keep the Latham procs going. And how Latham works, guys, and why it builds up so well, if you're a little bit newer to the game, is every time you attack, when you don't have what it summons, which is a 1-1, that it gives Storm, you get a 1-1 with Storm.
Yeah.
And that means anytime you can attack, if you can trade the 1-1 away first, then you keep getting that 1-1 back. And
it's a few separate abilities that all just work massively, perfectly together.
Massively, perfectly. Malachio.
Malachio.
Good times. This is why I like the mid-season special. We're having fun. We're watching decks that we don't normally see. We have cards in hand that definitely need to find ways to work with. Sky Devouring Horror, definitely one of those cards. And I like the fact that we already see a core 1 hand too. So for Akbar Red can manage to stifle this early you know, beatdown that he's facing. He does have the cards to get himself back. It's gonna take time.
Great choice there, I think, going face with the Knight and then just trading into the Fairy.
So let's see here. No way to put cards in hand before you play Cassiopeia. So Cassiopeia can get up to 7 damage, which is perfect for the Latham here. And I think that is going to be the option. And then probably play the feed out here. I don't see why not.
Something to use on the fills, possibly next turn if it's left alive. But no, he's just going to go for the wider board fill.
Interesting. Against the Latham, putting the 1/1s into play over the 2/2 seems a little bit. I guess it's the same. I guess it's realistically the same.
Okay, that's really nice. With Latham activated. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This is nice. Yeah. So yeah, White Queen puts a 1/1 into play. So does Latham. So you get 2 for the price of 1 with that card.
You can trade both of them in, or not. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can pretty much do whatever you want.
You can go face with them.
Yeah, you can trade board away here, and then you can fill up with a frontline Cavalier, which is pretty good. Really just depends on how Saria wants to play this. Technically, Saria could keep the White Queen around, right? Queen Chimera.
Trading into one of the fairies, yeah.
Trading into one of the fairies. And then just trade away some other followers. You can play the Lancer as well. Clear out the board that way.
Choices.
This is interesting too. This is always fun. This, again, another reason why I like these mid-season specials. This is what an earlier round would look like in competitive play, right? You got Akamara Red versus Saria Heart. Saria Heart, not really a competitive player. Great person, great personality, has an awesome Discord that you guys should check out, and streams every once in a while as well. You know, just playing against Akamara Red, right? One of these big top dogs has a chance to beat him here.
Oh yeah.
And that's why you see Saria just taking time every turn. Really wants to win this match. You know what? Can't blame him. Can't blame him whatsoever. I like it.
Has to trade the other Knight in first, or we won't get another Knight. Okay.
Okay. So a little misorder there.
Could have gotten a little extra damage and had another Knight on.
It's okay though. Still in really good position. Still in really good position. Or was finally going to hit play here. Bills are going to start working.
You play core, yeah. When you play core for enhanced state, you get 3 of them in your hand immediately, and you recover 3 play points. Pretty nice.
That's right. You get to draw cards every time you play them on Fita. So a really good feeder card here.
Okay, no lethal yet for Saria Heart, but that's 5 damage that I feel like wants to go right directly to face.
This is face, play everything. Let's go. Face, play everything.
And you have Magnus as well. You can protect against spell damage.
There we go. I like it. Play that first. Attack with the White Queen. Run some followers in. Attack with your 2/3. Run the new 1/1 in, and then play your hand out.
Yep.
Saria Heart, I mean, I imagine that after last turn, after seeing missing the trigger, that you would pick it back up, but it looks like no. Looks like doesn't care about the triggers.
Just just going for maximum damage.
Yep, nothing wrong with this either. This is basically the end game plan you want to come to anyway. You want to have this full board protected by the Black Queen. You don't want to take a chance for another Cassiopeia or anything like that to take out your board, so it's all protected.
So the Sky Devouring Horror can attack twice this turn. No, can't. He has to play the 4th fill.
Yeah, not quite yet.
Oh, no. That's right, he only played 3 last turn. And he only, oh my gosh.
I think he only played 2.
Come, let's see what
you're right, he did only play 2.
Yeah,
okay.
So still has to get there. So still a turn away from getting there. But can he figure out a way to stay alive is the question. Is there anything he can do? So he can play a Wood of Brambles, but that's not really going to do anything. Because the Black Queen is up. So the followers have to run in. Sky Devouring Horror might even have to be used defensively here. So even if you take out the ward, you take out the 2/4, or I'm sorry, the 3/2, you take out the 2/3, you play the Sky Devouring Horror to take out a 3/4, you're left with possible 5 damage next turn, which is definitely lethal.
Yep. Okay, doesn't look like there's really a way to in the game, no wards.
Is Saria Heart going to beat Akamara Red with Swordcraft?
Oh my gosh.
What is happening right now?
Going for draw. Okay, gets another rush though.
Okay, that's something. But I think we're still in the same spot.
Yeah, we're still in the same boat, yeah.
I don't think anything's changed. Maybe this does give room for that extra fill to be played though. Okay, so you can attack twice with the Axeman.
Okay, that does change things.
It does?
It does? Because now the Hedgehog is only going to be the follower left up. Oh! Okay, wow.
There's 2 damage.
Oh, there is 2 damage.
Wait,
Okay,
if you play the second Latham, that doesn't. Do they stack? They don't stack.
Okay, but there's no way to play Latham for the accelerated cost. So he has 2 damage.
That's it.
Okay, but then Akbar Red's at 1 defense. Oh my gosh! In the Sky Devouring Horror.
But he has active fills now.
He has active fills.
So if he cannot end the game right now, right? He needs to attack. Well, actually no. He needs to attack face with the Hedgehog so he can produce the 1/1, clear out the Axeman, and just hope. Because next turn,
he could trade the Hedgehog into either the Axeman or the Korwa, and then the Knight into the other one.
I mean, that's true.
So he could go for more clear. I think if he leaves up the Korwa,
I don't think you can afford to go for more clear though. You have to get your opponent to.
If Saria Heart doesn't clear off both followers, he's dead. He loses.
Right, but
because
can he win if he doesn't deal any damage?
That's true. If he can, he win. Yeah.
This is a tough spot. I think Saria. I don't know if getting all the activations out of Latham would have had steered him to the win. I mean, maybe. Played optimally, he could have squeaked out an extra point of damage this game. Not 100% sure though, but it looks like he is going to play the clear game, and Akbar Red is loving this. He's like, thank God he doesn't have that extra damage. Whew. There are the figure guns. All right, so Sky Devouring Horror can attack for 12, Feeder for another 2. That's 14 damage. I don't see the win here, unless he actually activated the Sky Devouring Horror. Oh no, that's right. We're gonna green.
Oh, and Axeman, yep, that's right.
So that's only 2 spells. Okay, so it's not lethal yet. So he a little premature finger guns here. Premature finger guns.
Thought I was missing something. Yeah, no, okay.
Did he just mess up?
Oh no!
Did he just mess up?
He just messed up!
Akbar Red!
Oh no! What he had to have done, he had to have pinged into face once with the Sky Devouring Horror, and then traded both in.
Yeah.
That would have kept him alive.
And then he would have.
Even then, though, it wouldn't have kept him alive because Saria Heart just drew a Celia.
Wonderful game. This is awesome. You know what? Everything worked out the way it should. Saria Heart won with Swordcraft against Akbar Red. Beautiful stuff. And we got to see Sky Devouring Horror come down with Korwa activated. You know what, guys? Who cares who wins? All I know is Akbar Red lost, all right, in a beautiful fashion.
That's all we know.
We got to see the new Legendary played out with Phil activated on it. I think we're all winners.
I think we're all winners.
I think we're all winners here.
We've all learned something.
We've all learned something, absolutely.
We've all won just a little something in our hearts.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good day today. It's a really good day today.
Okay, so now we're going to be going into the final game soon.
Yes, let's tally the points.
Himari has 30,000 vials.
I think they've evened out, right?
Crumsian has 20,000 vials.
Did I miss something? Maybe I've got my
Potwasher won with Blood, and then Luis the Panda won with Dragon.
Akka won with Forest, and Mega won with Haven. And I think this is.
Oh, you're right.
I think we're evened up.
No. Sorry, Heart won.
Oh yeah, that's right. What am I saying?
We just watched.
What am I saying, guys? I have no idea what I'm talking about. So Himari is gonna have the edge. And that's, I think, you know what? Maybe Crumsian, maybe he prepared for this, right? He's playing Bloodcraft. Bloodcraft is definitely one of the classes that you can kind of play with any amount of vials.
You don't need those early legendary cards. You just have the Thunder Behemoths, and then you have possibly... I mean, the old Blood King or the Gold, which those are expensive, and with only 20,000 vials, that's about it. Yeah.
That's all you kind of need, though. And then you can just fill your deck with bronze cards, silver cards. So, yeah, no, I think Crumsian will be just fine with Bloodcraft, but he's playing against Havencraft in the hands of Himari with a decent amount of vials.
With a decent, really more than decent amount of vials. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go to a short break, but we'll be back with Crumsian versus Himari. Don't go anywhere.
Sick of not being a millionaire? Playing Shadowverse could get you an all-expenses-paid trip to Japan to compete for a massive $1 million first-place prize in the Shadowverse World Grand Prix. That's right, $1 million. So how do you win $1 million? First, you have to qualify for one of our 3 Contenders Cups. We have one for Southeast Asia and Oceania, one for the Americas, and one for Europe. These cups are where 2018's top players are flown to LA or Singapore to fight for the World Grand Prix invitations. It's gonna be epic. And how do you qualify for our Contenders Cups? First off, mark up your calendars because this year we are introducing the Shadowverse World Circuit. This consists of 3 offline tournaments that anyone can take part in: DreamHack Tours, the SVO Open, and DreamHack Montreal. Anybody from anywhere can compete for the 10K prize pool per tournament. And as an added bonus for local players, winning your home region's tournament will get you flown to the Contenders Cup to fight for a slot in the World Grand Prix. You can also secure a Contenders Cup slot by winning one of our Pan America or European Spring or Summer online tournaments. Some slots for the Contenders Cups will go to players with the most 2018 league points. We've got 4 slots for competitors in Pan America, 4 slots for Europe, and 2 for SVO. Didn't make the cut? No sweat. There's one more chance to qualify via our last chance wildcard tournaments that will take place in each region in September. Win one of those, and boom, you're in. You'll be gate crashing the Contenders Cup with all the other contenders, where an almighty clash of wills shall decide the final players who get to take part in the World Grand Prix. So this year, we are giving even more people even more chances than ever to win cash, just for playing Shadowverse. Our 2018 Global Esports calendar now covers 120 countries. And if winning money and basking in esports glory all sounds a bit like too much effort, just sit back and relax. We'll be streaming Shadowverse Esports all year round on the official channel so you can watch the best players in the world slug it out week to week. It's never been a better time for competitive Shadowverse. What are you waiting for? Go check out ShadowverseOpen.com.
Wow, Sterling. This meditative Shadowverse Zen Master style really works. I've never been this good at Shadowverse before.
Yeah, but what's crazy is we're not even half as good as the people that play at the World Circuit of the Shadowverse Open Finals.
But can they do this?
Watch top Shadowverse players fight for cash and a spot in the Contenders Cup, one step away from the World Grand Prix $1 million prize.
What up, what up? Welcome back to the Team Tacular. Had a good break. We saw 4 really insane matches, and now we're going into the final match.
Yeah,
it's gonna be Crumjin versus Mari.
I had so much fun watching those games. I particularly like this, and I'm gonna remind Akmaran when I see him here when we go out to Montreal about those premature finger guns. You can't catch chickens before they hatch.
Can't catch chickens before they hatch. That is such a good phrase. Is that in the Art of War or something?
It might be.
Something to the effect
similar
of.
To,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't count your sky-devouring horrors before they
become monsters. You know, when they're little baby horrors.
Yeah.
You got to be careful.
They only got 6 attack.
Fledgling horrors.
Tiny little fledgling horrors. But then, you know, then they get the 13 attack.
Then they're monster horrors. Yeah. Then they deal over 20 damage.
Yeah.
With the
Let's have a recap for today of exactly what's happened. Potwasher defeated Failbait. Luis the Panda defeated Wonder Melodies. Saria Heart defeated Akamara Red. And Cure Mango defeated Gengar. So that's 20,000 vials over to Team Crumjin and 30,000 vials over to Team Himari. So Himari having a little bit of an edge, but because of the deck that Crumjin is playing, he's playing a deck very similar to Potwasher's.
Yes.
Aggro Blood. Bat Bloodcraft with Old Blood King and Thunder Behemoth.
I think that makes sense for your low vial choice with Blood. Honestly speaking, it might make sense for all of your vial choices with Blood right now.
Yeah.
It might be the best Blood deck just to go to just because it is an aggressive deck. We saw how well it performed. What I feel like, I mean, that might be the optimal draw. It might be just, you know, 1-2, being on the play, 1-2 into 3, into the 4 that fills up the board, into the 5 that makes that board bigger,
yeah.
And then you have all of your good options. So I think that we hit the top of the curve there. We'll see if Crumjin can do it again.
Let's hear from the man himself, Crumjin. We talked a little bit about your Bloodcraft deck. I want to hear what your thoughts are. How do you like this deck? How do you think it performs?
I think the Blood deck is really good. People rated Thunder Behemoth kind of low initially, and I always thought that it was good. So I was actually doing a Temple Storm expansion review with my teammates, Potwasher and Cutcoin, and like the chat was memeing it. You know, they were like, "This card is trash," but I actually rated it pretty high because I thought in like an aggressive bat variation, one, it can be like. Me and Pot make this joke, 6 Razory Claws, right?
Yeah.
3 Ambush Face, and then also, it's really hard to remove, like, 8 health on turn 5, unless you have a specific answer, like Troph's Curse. So, I think it's really underrated, and I'm excited to see what I can do with it. I think the deck is pretty strong, and even though I have 20k vials, I think I have a good chance.
I would have to agree. So that was actually the question I was going to lead into here. Did the vial restriction give you any type of indication about what class you wanted to play? Did you want to play Blood because you might be gated on vials and it might be the strongest deck with a lower count of vials, or did you just really want to play Bloodcraft today?
Well, I thought Blood was good, and obviously the vial count is something to consider, so I definitely thought Blood was a good budget option. Honestly, I think Forest is also a really good budget option, but I played it last Team Tackler, so definitely wanted to mix it up. But yeah, I like Blood a lot, and I think that even though I have 20k vials, it's definitely, like for 20k vials, it's one of the better crafts out there for sure.
Okay, awesome, really nice. So, I mean, going up against Himari, like one of the best players in Europe, I mean, what do you think your chances are? You tell us, like, what are the words you have for Himari? You gotta lay down the gauntlet, man.
I mean, you know, it's a good thing. It's a good thing Himari's not going to Montreal, because then he can't lose twice, right?
Oh, what? Yeah, brutal, dude. Brutal. Wow. Brutal. So speaking of Montreal, are you having a good time preparing for it? What do you expect out there? Do you think you can take it down?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm preparing, obviously, with my teammate Potwasher and, you know, some other friends. We're all discussing stuff, so we still have a while to go. Actually, like 4 days to go.
Yeah,
I fly out, but I'm feeling good, and I'll try to prepare my best, and I think I have a good shot at taking the #1 this time.
There we go.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you again in your game. Best of luck to you, my friend.
Best of luck, Ramsey.
Okay. I mean, now we're gonna hear
Those
from.
were some sweet smackdown.
That took me off guard.
That
I wasn't
took me
expecting.
off guard too.
I was
ready to lay it down.
Oh, you know, like we're both good players. You know, best man wins.
Yeah. We're gonna have a great game. It's a new expansion. Everything's fun. It's like you don't have a chance to lose twice to me, bro.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Let's hear from Himari himself. Himari, my friend, what is up? How's it going? How are you liking the new mini expansion?
Yeah, pretty good. There's some fun stuff in there. I guess that's what we all want, right?
Yeah, we all want to have fun. Yeah. So, what are the classes that you've been liking to play the most right now? What have you been toying with the most? Maybe since the mini expansions come out, you have to play some, competitive left in this format. What are you feeling your tendencies are right now?
Well, I really like the new Rune Legendary. Part of the reason why I picked the class. The other reason being that Rune has good basic cards. In addition, it's pretty nice that Shadow got some good stuff because they've been in the dumpster. So they got probably one of the best deals out of it. Yeah, I guess that's mostly what I've been thinking about.
Perfect.
Cool, very cool. So now you've been gated at 30,000 vials. Gated, I mean, like you have 30,000 vials of access to you. Did you find it difficult to make a list of Runecraft for 30,000 vials, or was that a really comfortable range to work in?
I mean, that's the reason why I picked Rune. Like I mentioned, a Rune probably has the strongest basic cards, and those are free to put in your deck. In addition, the legendary that we have to put into our deck is a pretty good card. In this case, like for the different restrictions, I tried to think of different things. Like I knew Abyss Rune or Bi Rune, however you want to call it, can be made pretty cheaply. So I think the two cheapest lists are with that. And then at the top end, I kind of wanted to go for some more fancy stuff. I mean, it might not be the very strongest choice, but I thought maybe Twitch chat would appreciate some fun.
That's what we're here for today. We're here for fun. We're getting into the competition over the next couple of weeks. That's what we're here for. We're here to have a laugh and have a good time. Now, in saying that, Crumsian laid the smack down. I don't know if you got to hear what he said, okay? But let me tell you, he was ready to win, okay? So I want to hear some comeback, Mari. I know you're a super nice guy. You're always about having fair and fun games. Do we have any smack talk back for Crumsian?
That's not really my strength. I mean, I'm pretty good at trash talking, like my friends.
We're all friends here.
Like in public, it's a bit more difficult. Like, I can be like toxic behind the scenes.
Okay, well, well wishes for your opponent. Any final words before we get into your match?
Yeah, I'm ready to break to hell and back. Let's see what's gonna happen.
Perfect. All right, so, perfect. Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much, GLHF, in your game. We will see you in game very shortly.
That's right. So two really good competitors, one of Pan America's best, one of Europeans' best. And honestly speaking, I think Himari and Crumsian not being able to duke it out a lot is kind of something I miss, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I want to see a lot of the European players battle against the Pan American players. I like the cross-region battling, and I think these live events, these LAN events are the best ways to do it, but of course, Himari not able to make it out, apparently, to Montreal, so might not get to see that match happen.
Maybe
not
in Montreal.
In the future.
Yeah, maybe in the future.
Maybe in Japan.
Maybe right now.
Yeah, or maybe right now. Okay, on this show.
They were gated and and all that kind of stuff. Picking this classes.
They're only playing one class.
Only one game.
Yeah. Right.
This is all for.
But we get to see something.
We get to see a little fisticuffs.
Yeah, a little fisticuffs. I like that. I like that. Hopefully a slobber knocker, as they say. So.
I've never heard anyone ever in the history of the world use that phrase.
Well, I've said it on this show before.
You have?
So I don't think he actually listens to me. This is my problem, folks. Okay, this guy over here, he just looks at me and he's like, saying something, saying something. Yeah, now it's my turn to talk. No. Actually, I got it from Aya. He was the one that originally told me. Slobber knocker.
Slobber knocker?
Yeah, that's when a boxing match goes really long.
It's a big old haymaker.
No,
no,
it's
no.
just a long match.
It's a long match.
It's a slobber knocker.
Okay.
Yeah,
Huh.
because you know you're starting to drool, you're starting to sweat, everything's you know, and it's just going long.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day, man.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you learn things.
You know what else we've learned today? Bloodcraft. Bloodcraft's very good.
Bloodcraft's pretty sweet. And when you get the right curve, I mean, it fires on all cylinders, man, and it doesn't stop with the damage. Before, you had to rely on those Razor Claws, you had to rely on the old Blood King combos. Now you just have a lot more direct damage that you can just keep popping. And early in the game, popping 3 damage, like, you know, certain turns when you're playing aggro blood, you're just like, I'm going to Razor Claw your face and play a 2-drop. Now you get to Razor Claw their face and play a 6-6. It's way different.
And you don't take 2 damage yourself.
Exactly.
That's really good.
Everybody's getting an Abomination Awakened. It was actually something that we were talking about just a couple weeks ago in competitive play, where Abomination might just be the most value-oriented card in the game right now, just because it's a 6-6 for 3. It generates so much tempo and/or value. And now a lot of classes, like we've gotten, you know, Machio in there. We've got Thunder Behemoth in there now.
Malachio.
Or, yeah, Malachio. I for some reason it got to Karate Kid in my head, and I was going with a different name for some reason. But yeah, Malachio.
Nice.
But yeah, it's good stuff. I like all the new cards. I think they all have their place, and I think like we heard a little bit earlier, a lot of these avenues are just unexplored. So we're gonna have to take some time out. Hope these players come prepared for Montreal.
Yep. So we did see Bloodcraft going first last game. Now we're seeing it going second, and Mysteria having a pretty decent curve going first. So now I feel like we're gonna see how
the match that we wanted.
We get the match that we wanted.
We get the match that we wanted. We saw Failbait kind of just suffer, not having the right options. Now we see Himari not only going first, but having the Staff of Whirlwinds, having the early removal, and all of that kind of good stuff. And Crumsian not having the 1-drop.
Yep.
But does have ways to fill up this board. Has a really good setup if he ever does draw into that old Blood King, and has the Thunder Behemoth. So we'll see if he can actually put something together this game.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, exclamation point giveaway in the chat. We're giving away 3 free packs at the end of every broadcast. We do that every time. Go to the link it sends you, and you'll have a chance to win big.
That's right. I like it. Free packs right now are worth it more than ever, because you get a chance at these new mini expansion cards in the Brigade of the Sky pack. So go ahead and get those packs. All right, so Crumsian basically just doing what he can, right? Just putting the old forest bats out there and seeing what they can do.
First rule of Shadowverse, man, play the cards in your hand.
Play the cards in your hand. That's right. Rule number 2 for Crumsian that he's going to have to really heavily rely on is draw the cards that are in your deck. Specifically Old Blood King at some point to try to spike some damage, because early game damage, not happening in this game.
Nope. Not yet. Not with that warded Clay Golem and possibly a Magic Missile, maybe a Grand Spire coming down to clear off at least one of these followers. Yeah, Himari can clear board. He can go face damage. He can play Witch of Foresight, draw even more cards in his hand.
Kind of like the Magic Missile plan here. You definitely want to try to dig for Mysteria if you can get there. Mysteria is basically the card you need to end the game faster. Against a deck like this, you can't really give them too much time, because, as they've all been saying, 6 Razor Claws now. Not a lot of time to be had.
Okay, next turn for Crumsian comes into a Raven. Okay, so he still has things to do, all right? He has the Bewitching Succubus for turn 4. Something to do on the Evo turn, fill up a big board. So that feels pretty nice. Even still, Himari, I think, is just sitting really pretty right now.
Yeah, has all the cards he needs. Has been able to protect his face, basically, for the first, 3-4 turns of this game, which is really nice. Basically has ways to keep the board clean as well, with Staff of Whirlwinds in hand. Really, the only piece Himari is missing at this point is that Mysteria. Ooh.
That's nice.
That was dirty.
That's really nice.
That was dirty. Not only drawing a card off of the Witch of Foresight, but getting a card that can also deal with the board and draw another card. Very optimal this turn. Try to get to that Mysteria. Oh, actually, okay. Just going to go for the 2-2 here.
Not bad.
No, fill up the 4. Go face.
Okay. So now Crumsian can play the Bewitching Succubus. Evolve, trade in, but still not able to really clear the whole board.
Yeah, I think at this point, Crumsian just needs to find damage to face any way possible. So most damage to face here would just be running something in and evolving the other follower to go face and then filling up the board. Evolving over the ward with a fresh follower is less damage to face this turn. It's only 2 damage as opposed to 3. So it really just depends on how he wants to use the rest of the cards in his hand.
Right.
I think you need to save a lot of the bat cards, but I think you're right. I think filling up the board with the 4-drop here is pretty good. Then you get to save all of your bats for a possible Old Blood King off the top. Plus, you do have, again, the Thunder Behemoth coming down on turn 5 is a big threat.
Yeah, so you've got Crumsion has something to do this turn. He has something to do next turn with the Thunder Behemoth, which is a massive threat that Himari doesn't really have an answer to.
It's true. It looks like the play will be made. Like I said, you got to trade first, and then you can Evo face, fill up the board. I like this.
Not bad.
Restless Parish is an interesting card to have in this deck. This extra card draw early in the game kind of works like the old pre-adjusted sealed tome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It does yield 1 damage to face, but interestingly enough, the 2-cost version that summons Force Bats, I figured this out. It doesn't really work that well with Old Blood King because it summons a Force Bat at the end of your opponent's turn.
Right.
And then when it's your turn, it doesn't have the effect of the Old Blood King.
Yep.
It's just a regular old Force Bat.
It's not bad if you need to spike like 1 or 2 damage over a couple turns just to try to get there at the end of the game. But yeah, you generally want to be drawing cards with it to get to your combo pieces to win the game a little bit earlier. Here we go. Here's the card. So clean. So clean.
Very nice. Now does Himari want to Evo face it? It looks like he is.
Oh yeah. Crumsian's feeling it too. See him scratch the chin.
Yep.
Now, this does take some pressure away from Himari as well. If he did not Evo here, Thunder Behemoth could have come down, cleared out the 2-2, pre-Evoed into an 8-8. Very hard to deal with, but now that it's a 4-4, a lot easier to circumvent that. Now the 3 damage might go face, and then you Evo over it, which only leaves it with 4 defense, which is definitely easier to deal with.
Yep, Carl could evolve trade into that. Yeah, Grand Spire with an Igil, just about any, with a Sigil.
Yeah, an Igil. The Igils.
The Igil. Curses, Igils.
Curses, Igils. All right, so I don't know if there's another option here. I mean,
I think you got to.
You can go for a small board fill here, but I think you need to save those cards in case you do draw the Old Blood King. This is the one bad position you can get in when you play the Bat Blood deck, is you just don't have the Old Blood King. It's like any other combo deck. You don't have the one piece. You're not going to be able to get there. Well, I mean, Thunder Behemoth seems like the play here, right? You lock yourself into 3 play points next turn, but I don't think you care because you want to save most of the cards in your hand anyway, and you have a good 3-drop to play. I think it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Just play it. Just get your 3 damage into face. Get rid of the 4-4. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good.
It's good.
You know your opponent doesn't have the Mysteria, at least right now, because they played the Staff of Whirlwinds. Looks like that will be the play from Crumbs.
It actually has like a thunder reanimation. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. It's a legendary, okay? It looks nice.
Looks very nice.
Homework.
All right, here we go. Himari, what is his answer back here? Okay, a freshly drawn Worm could be played this turn, although you'd have to give it up with the Evo.
Yeah.
I think something like a Carl and Grand Spire seems pretty good. Maybe even a Silent Lab Grand Spire into like a Magic Missile to draw a card.
Carl Grand Spire feels really good.
Yeah, you don't use all your play points that way, so that might be the deciding factor here for Mari. You don't get to heal though when you play your Silent Laboratory first.
He still has the Carl in his hand. He's gonna heal. He's not in any danger of dying next turn. He's fine.
It's true. Good. And he put a ward into play, which is really nice. Crumsian's still lacking here. Drawing cards that draw cards as opposed to getting the ones he wants.
To say this, he was only going to recover 3 play points anyway.
That might have been the best card he could have drawn,
Probably.
honestly.
Yeah. It was fine. Like, he didn't need to draw the Old Blood King. Wouldn't have been able to play. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
This gives him an extra card to play this turn.
Sure.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Not bad at all. Nothing to take advantage of Vengeance with, unfortunately. So popping himself down to 10 with his gift doesn't do anything for him here. I don't think honestly there's a lot of Vengeance interaction in this deck as a whole.
Raven, outside of Raven, yeah.
So we'll see here. I don't think Crumsian has too many options here.
And even if Crumsian were to put himself into Vengeance with Restless Parish or what have you, I mean, there's 6 damage plus with an Evo point on the board for Himari.
It's a ton.
That's a ton of damage.
And you're playing against a burn deck, you know. You're only a Chain Lightning and another spell away.
Yeah.
At that point. As a matter of fact, if Chain Lightning is the draw, if there was no answer back here from Crumsian, that would have been the end of the game. Of course, he's not going to take that chance. Why would you? Even playing the Restless Parish technically is kind of a liability, right? Any damage you're dealing yourself at this moment is scary.
There's no healing. Not getting that back.
Nope. I think the Worm is a nice play here. I think it's pretty nice. You get that missile in your hand. You get to increase the damage that it does. That's an extra 2 damage to face. You've got 1 from the magic missile. That's 3.
Is there a world where you'll go with the white worm instead, with the circle and the draw?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen the white worm played.
Neither have I.
Not a single time in my Shadowverse life have I seen that card not be played.
Typically, though, you have Mysteria activated, and of course you're gonna go for that. You're gonna go for the burn spell. Yeah.
I mean, maybe in this specific circumstance you can consider it. I mean, technically it's not the only play either. You can play defensively with Carl and Magic Missile this turn. You don't necessarily have to go for the worm. And you can just play out the rest of your hand instead. You've got 7 play points to work with and a perfect 7 to use. Of course, using the Magic Missile this way is not your favorite way to do it, but honestly, you don't have the Mysteria yet, so might as well get some advantage out of it.
Carl feels pretty good.
Gaze into the light.
Yep, all these plays are decent for me.
About magic.
He's probably going to go face here. I don't think he's worried too much about the lethal. Honestly speaking, against an old Blood King deck, you don't have to worry about 1/1s in play because your opponent really, if they are going for a lethal push, probably has to wipe its own board anyway just to get more damage in with the rest of its bats. So you can leave the 1/1s there.
Okay, Razor Claw, nice. Has the alternate art for Razor Claw.
So cool.
With featuring Narmaya.
But these goblins, big nose later in the game.
No, don't need those on turn 7.
That's what you don't need. Is there any way for Crumsian to come back into this game? He's got no evolution orbs left, which means he can't really deal with boards. And on the on the board is lethal.
Yeah.
Staring him in the face. So with Talon, he can clear out a 2/2. He can possibly clear out the Carl this turn if he wants to as well. That will leave a decent amount of damage left over though. And we know that there's 2 damage in hand for Hamari with the worm here. So he's got to clear 2 followers off this turn if he wants to survive. And he can't use the Razor Claw to do it. I don't
think he can win.
I don't think there's a way out of this.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Talon Strike only allows him to clear off 1 follower, and then there's not a way to clear off another follower without putting yourself in lethal range.
Yeah, I think this is it. I think Crumsian's going to figure out whatever he can possibly do. And I think this is, again, where you're going to see a push of, I'm going to clear one of these 2/2s, try to push some damage, which means Red Talon Strike will be played this turn. You can technically play your gift because your opponent has even number of damage and not odd number of damage, so the extra damage isn't going to matter too much.
There will be... Gotta be feeling hungry.
But you're also giving your opponent an extra 1/1, so you're probably not going to do that. That is actually 2 damage, so never mind. No, that doesn't work.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Here comes into Miranda, nice.
Yeah,
okay.
So I think we're just going to see a clean Evo face. We're going to see a worm. We're going to see the worm do the 2 damage. We see Crumsian nodding. He knows it's going to happen.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all. So we see Revenge of Runecraft in our final game of the day. We saw Bloodcraft win the first one. We now see Runecraft come back and win the second one. Vials be gated, but who cares? Let's go.
Who cares? Let's go. That was a great game. Himari taking the win with Mysteria Runecraft.
How excited he looked after that win, let me tell you
he was
guys.
Pumped, man.
He was so pumped. You know what? Hamari's on vacation like we are, okay?
Oh, yeah.
We can't really jab on him for being relaxed and calm.
Different people like vacations differently. We like vacations to you know, show some energy and finally let loose, but some people don't like that. Some people like to relax. And nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So that means Team Hamari has won the Team Tacular. Awesome stuff.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Yeah, and he is, I mean, one of the top competitors going into the regional finals in 2 weeks. I mean, yeah, let's hear his thoughts about that win. Himari, how does it feel to take that win? How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, pretty good. It was, I think, yeah, it was pretty easy. Maybe Crumsian should step his game up.
Wow.
Pretty easy, he says. Okay, he says he's not a smack talker. I see it in there.
I'm gonna talk to Crumsian after this game, man. Himari was talking some mad smack, dude.
No, that was great. We liked it because we saw Bloodcraft win a little bit earlier. Now we see Runecraft on the backswing. It can beat Bloodcraft, and as you saw, pretty easily, right? So really good stuff. So Hamari, great day. How did you feel about your team today? How did you feel about your chances at the beginning of the day?
Yeah, I'm really happy with the performances from everyone on the team, especially if you think like Crumsian got first pick and he got pot, and then he's got Aka and Gengar, who are like two people, like actually two people who are already in contenders and 3 top players overall, and to see my team who are like obviously good players but not that focused on competitive beat them feels pretty good. Like, they did very well.
This is how the Team Taculars go. We see upsets more often than not for whatever reason on the
yeah,
Team
last Team
Taculars.
Tacular, I think every single game was an upset, aside from
like
our predictions.
We thought our predictions were like, this is the better deck, and then the other deck always won. And then it turned into just like that was the whole
game
story
we were
of
playing
the
the whole day, yeah.
That's right.
Okay, so now looking forward to the regional finals in 2 weeks. I mean, how are you preparing? I mean, like, I mean, I don't want to talk to you about your decks because I know that's probably very sensitive information.
Close to the chest.
Yeah. But how are you preparing? How are you liking the new expansion going into the regional finals?
Well, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I've been like super busy and like with work and being sick and everything. Actually, I haven't prepared that much, so I couldn't even tell you anything.
You got time. You got time.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, Hamari. Okay. You know what? You know, get better. You know, use this vacation time as you can. You know, all the Pan America players are scrambling to try to win at Montreal. Take that time to buckle down on your decks going to the next competitive weeks.
Drink plenty of fluids.
Plenty of fluids. That's right. That's right. So, before we get you off here, any last words you want to say to everybody out there, and anything you want to tell them about how you think your chances are maybe getting to the Contenders Cup or winning the regional finals or anything like that?
Well, I'm already locked for contenders, so I think my chances are pretty good, to put it lightly. I mean, regionals, sure, like, yeah, now I didn't have that much time and I've been kind of sick and everything, so I'll use the time to focus and try and win again. Let's see.
Very cool.
Perfect.
Very cool. Yeah, Hamari, one of our returning victors from the Chronogenesis season.
Right.
You're going to do great. Cannot wait to see you in 2 weeks. Perform your heart out. You're going to do great. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. We had a great day. I hope you had fun today.
Thank you very much for being on the show. I think today's games were absolutely incredible.
Today's games were great. It's been a great day.
I think it's awesome. So moreover, it was kind of, I was trying to drive into him if I could see how he felt he was going to do in the Contenders Cup against people live, all that kind of stuff. But you know, we'll give him a break.
We got time for that.
We got time for that.
The Contenders Cup is in October.
It's a little ways away.
A couple weeks from there.
The thing that's exciting about that, guys, is the fact that it's going to be live here in studio, so it's going to get that nice LAN effect.
Oh yeah.
But it's not going to be this big 300-person venue. It's going to be the top players only.
It's going to be our studio, dark room,
dark
cameras watching you. The light's going to be on.
It's going to be intense.
It's going to be
intense. We're going to have probably a host walking around, you know, talking to these people, maybe just looking things. We're going to be commentating. They might even be able to like see
watch us commentating.
Yeah,
well, probably not. Probably not.
Well, yeah, probably not. That might be intense.
If we were like,
yeah,
big draw. No,
we can't do that. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Contenders Cup's in a few weeks. Montreal is next week on the 8th. Make sure you tune in for that. Make sure you tune in for the regional finals the week after that on the 15th and the 16th as well. So there's plenty of action headed your way.
Yeah, it's going to be a great end of the year. I think this is going to be the biggest end of the year that Shadowverse has ever had as far as the West is concerned, right? Not only have we had all these cool LAN events where all of our players are now coming together, getting more excited about going to each event because they get to meet all these people, they get to hang out, have fun. Plus, I mean, they're realizing that the competition is stiff when they go to a local venue, whether it be France, you know, whether it be Singapore. They realize that all these locals have their own games, you know, they have their own meta games, they have their own styles. It's really hard. Day ones are a lot harder than people expect. They're just like, I didn't expect this, or I didn't expect this. This, I think, with the mini expansion happening right before, just gonna throw another wrench into things. I think it's gonna be awesome, and I can't wait for everybody to meet out there. I think the venue's just gonna blow up. It's gonna be huge. Plus, like you said, we're leading into the Contenders Cup. We have regional finals still. We have the Grand Prix. Again, $1 million. One of these players is going to walk home with $1 million at the end of this year.
Yep. So we are just about wrapped up with the Team Tacular. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you tune in to the World Circuit in Montreal and the regional finals the week after that. Thank you so much. We're going to say goodbye for now. Thank you for tuning in.